Cucumber. That's an interesting one for today. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Elendor Chronicles, brought to you by the Component Cast. As always, before we get on with tonight's broadcast proper, we need to go through a few things, and a few things that we will go through are, first of all, us. If you really like the show, one thing that, if you may have missed episodes before now, they are slowly coming out on YouTube again. We're finally getting through the backlog. I got into my wallet and paid someone to go through and put out the backlog because it had gotten so much. Every time I just looked at it, it was like, oh no, I can't cope with this. So the rest of season 2 is appearing, as well as all the Zweihander episodes, so you can finally catch up on all of our broadcasts slowly, and they're coming out twice a day at the moment. So there's a big old list of Elendor for you to get back into, and yeah, yes. That's that. Also, if you're really enjoying this show, please consider supporting us on Patreon or by going to our merch store and buying some of our merch. All proceeds go back into the Component Cast and are used to fund and to develop existing and new projects within the spectrum of TTRPG stuff. That's basically that. Other than that, I need to talk about the wonderful people over at Syrinscape, whose online player I use to help make this show run. But they have a free app that you can use on iOS and on PC to get you started. It has 20 free sound sets. For more information, go to Syrinscape.com. Without further ado, let us get on with tonight's broadcast. So, who would like to do the recap this week?
We'll do the recap.
Go for it, Ghibli.
Okay, so the party, we flew into this place called Benumdum, which is named after somebody had tummy troubles, and we parked at a skyship tower, and it was like an emissary, and they had a "You Are Here" map. So the party decided to split up with team Super Fun Awesome Time going on a joyride in a clicky clack, and we wanted to go shopping. Zep needed to go to a foundry and get some materials for the skyship. I wanted to legally purchase a bow to kill a dragon, and that was not available because it was basically the Hattori Hanzo of the bow makers, and so things were very expensive. We did in fact though get some special arrows The other party, which was team knowledge based, went to the library and the archives, and you guys found some cheeky lore drops. Valmir had again daddy issues, so was being questioned by us, the party. And as far as the lore goes, not particularly sure exactly what we found out because I wasn't there. So
Answer that question.
Go for it.
thank you, sir.
We got the title card.
You did get the title card. Do you want to go into a bit more detail than that?
Sure. We between Valmir and James. Yes, I almost said Jack. James. Get supernatural in the mind. James and Breton and Soul. We kind of started piecing together an idea of what we should be doing, such so that we found interest in the tales of a Flap something. I forget the guy's name. Flapjack, or the librarian, the musician librarian orchestra guy.
The musician librarian.
It was
Musician librarian.
Shield was his last name. I remember.
Apple Shield.
Flapple Shield was.
Apple Shield.
Ah, there we go. Go, Shane. What was the name?
Professor Themistocles. I can't talk today. Themistocles Cosmalis.
So yes, that's the Minotaur
the
music.
Minotaur.
That's the music teacher. That's Themistocles Cosmalis, one of the two Cosmalis brothers that were on site. And then yes, Flap Appleshield was the head theologian,
who kind of gave us a little bit of an idea about the traveling bard who went with the king who never was, also called Them, and gave us some details about a group of bad guys called the Scorned Ones of Them, the Scorned of Them.
Scorned Ones of Them.
Scorned Ones of Them. The impression being that he didn't like them. Not himself, but them. Pronoun game.
They were the heretics that believed in them, but them didn't want to be believed in because they didn't want to become a god. Because then
That'd explain why they're scorned.
Yes.
And a little more detail might be found in a series of books that were all across the world, some of which might even be first or second editions, called the Elendor Chronicles.
So it's the Chronicles of Elendor. Or maybe not. Wait, no, I just completely forgot the name of this YouTube series. Never mind, it's fine.
That means that there's a chronicler.
Why do you think instead of Dungeon Master, I've been referring to myself as the Chronicler? My God!
Game, the bad guy, we knew him all along. It's Midge. We actually just have to fight Midge. To fly to England and fight Midge.
You've got to come and find me. That's it. Yes.
He's got a 5-foot square grid set up in his yard or whatever. We're all gonna stand in little 5-foot squares with our weapons.
We also learned that the Scorned Ones of Them killed Eladrin the Immortal's daughter, which is why Eladrin the Immortal doesn't really like humans.
There is a lot of basically the reason that the entirety of the continent of Longreach has been having holy wars for as far back as anyone can remember.
And Soul levying the conspiracy theory that the reason nobody can find any information about what happened back then is because it has been taken or destroyed by this same group.
So,
that was a great recap.
Ghibli's great recap from Ghibli, though. I'd honestly, team effort. So do you know what I'm going to say? Is there is a inspiration that can be grabbed by the entire team. Anyone in the team can just go, hey.
Somebody in the first 5 minutes.
But the rest, everyone has to agree on it. It's not just a, you can nab this whenever. So yes, we left off with the title role credit. Well, kind of. In fact, Breton asked a very important question, which was... Sorry,
he asked what his knowledge of the Elendor Chronicles was, the missing confirmed or theoretical volumes, and where in the world those specific volumes pertain to. Because it was posited to us that Ulfric the Bard Scholar had been doing this in his journeys with the king that never was, them, and that they were traveling the world in the process of doing so, and each of these was pinned in different locations in the world and may pertain to different legends and lores of different locations in the world. This information will be incredibly useful because if we go to another location, we know what book we're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that I can begin to cover. So you're in Flap's office, and you've got the massive map of Dostros that's like muraled onto the wall, and he pulls out some parchment and it starts to begin making some notes. And I'm going to quickly send you guys a document on Discord. Real high tech, I know, but it's probably the fastest way for me to do this and for you guys to have it. Give me 2 seconds. Basically he just starts scrawling and gets up this. It just starts essentially noting the things he himself knows. And in handouts now, you should have this so you can follow along, guys. I'll try to bring this up on stream as soon as possible as well. But the kind of the listing is as follows. It's the gnome just begins to like sort of. Oh, sorry, the halfling. He's not a gnome. Getting my short people confused. He just sort of starts noting down. So, well, of course you got Ulfric, as we've talked about. There's quite a lot of information in Edgar Allard's plays, but they're not as old. But he had access in his studies and his travels as when back in his day when he was an adventuring bard, that he managed to take that and to adapt some work. There is a lot of really good information from oh gosh, how do you say the AE conjoined letter again?
Eighth,
yeah.
Yeah, like eighth is...
Yeah. So what is that? Lathlilia?
Lathlilia is an aeroplane.
It's spelled out.
It was on that handout that I've just done.
Lelia.
Lelia. Yeah, be Lelia. That'll be Lelia Asiaticus. She did a lot of works on the Dragonkin perspective, which helps build up the full picture of the story. Hudebrand did quite a lot of work, especially on the stuff that pertains to the Nardathelian works. Dagron's an interesting quality because a lot of their works come at it from the perspective of followers of not followers of the king that never was, but it's like the peripheral other deities that he interacted with, and it kind of combines into the story there. And then Lexis Keys is kind of one of those individuals that have really focused on a certain area, and that seems to be any of the travels that are surrounded in the Azdakian Caliphate. Now, The Great Journey by Ulfric, and he's just kind of rambling though, so it's like there's clear passion and excitement in this, that you've asked this kind of question. The Great Journey itself is rumored to be about 30 different pieces, some of which exist, some of which are just kind of best guesswork. What I was working on downstairs is just one aspect of The Great Journey by Ulfric, and it's probably the most complete story and the closest to it. But since then, there's been people that have made copies who have then developed it, much as any of the other say Pelorian Gospels or various other faiths have theologians and writers that then divulge and expand upon. I would be so. As for where they would go on a map, that's a little more complex. it's
uprooted for me.
Well, it's more the fact that it depends if one of the individuals there or not cared about the religion of the king who never was. So you're going to see a higher sort of amount of works in Longreach about it. Borrow the Vistilian theocracy, they've got quite a bit. But then again, that's going to be also the most bias. Whereas you go a bit further afield, you're going to get a broader scope, maybe not some as older works, well, maybe outside of one of the greater light. There's some really good places of knowledge, especially in Atria. There's the main library there in the capital is a kind of a treasure trove of older work. It's one of those things of sometimes people have fragments and it's a page. Sometimes people have a second edition and it's mostly complete. But how accurate that most complete is, where the cycle keeps going. This has been people's entire area of expertise for the last 1400 years. But I'll be happy to help break it down with you, and if you've got more information and more of an idea of what you're looking for rather than just a broad brush stroke, then I'll see what I can do. Yes, you should have that document that kind of gives a breakdown of various things. He also then begins to note, like, there is also these two individuals who right now have the most recent published works that kind of lean into the stories of the Elendor Chronicles as a whole. Marcius Flux's work on the outer planes and the various his dimensional travel theory and things like that does touch on the King That Never Was in a small scope, but mainly to do with the interaction of the planes and the connections there. And then Delphina Curtin Swift has a really interesting book on prophecies and various secret histories and their likeliness to come true. It's kind of in some circles, it's kind of a little bit parlor tricks and lowbrow, but there's a lot of research and, like, you know when there's one of those things where, like, a myth is like 80% fiction and 20% fact? It's kind of juicy like that.
DM question, because
Yes.
I'm not there. Marcius Flux, wasn't he the fella on the island that exploded?
No.
That's the guy who's from...
He's the guy that's in Kaiteng.
Yeah, he's from...
Yeah, he was the guy we were told about.
Right.
He's the guy that he's the guy that was referenced by the guy on the island.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
He is an individual from a different he fell into this world, basically. Put it that way.
Alright then. Well. With this information, it's something that we can start looking more into, but unfortunately it doesn't tell us the next thing. Unless we believe that we've been told that Atria now is also a treasure trove of information, which is another reason to go to Atria. It's another reason to continue our journey to Atria. But there's also a purpose to move on to Kaiteng and meet with this Marcius Flux, since it seems like there have been several pointing directors that have said that this is an important individual to speak to.
Well, he has a very unique theory on how the planes interconnect. So he had a small theory on what the seals of Elendor in specific kind of might do. Not exactly what they are, but their interaction with the further cosmology of this world. What is it you're looking for, if you don't mind me asking, in terms of within these books and works? I might be able to help, narrow down what you're looking for a bit, because what you've asked is 1 years of academic research and very broad.
Breton will just look at him with all the gravitas that a Knight of Honor can and just say, there are people that are trying to tear down everything that these books stand for, and we're trying to find a way to prevent it.
Well, that does sound mighty important. You see, Ulfric's Great Journey is comprehensive, but because it covers so much of the world, and there are so many tidbits, you've kind of got it'd be easier for me to point you in a good direction of what bits to search for in reading, to if we have that little bit of information of, say, one, what it is within those things you're looking for, and then or if there's like a clue, like a certain person that got interacted with, or that kind of thing.
Breton, as Soul starts to say this, Breton is going to start writing a list.
Okay.
And he's going to write down what he can remember of what we already know of the seals.
Okay. At this time as well, just as a note, those of you who were shopping can have come to the academy at this point.
It is our belief, through the things we have seen, interacted with, that there is a faction working to undo the works of the king that never was, specifically relegating to keep the entities he banished out back in. Between the events of happening in Nardafell, Retbury, the Rian, the dragons reappearing, and other more disturbing incidents, like a flying island incident, it has the gods worried. One of our members, contacted his deity for requesting information about something we had run into, and their response was, "Oh no."
He kind of begins to giggle and then, like, sees the severity on your face and goes, well, right, okay, well, with the connection, you say, to dragons heading into, Atria is run by dragons, so it's a good place to start, that's for certain, or dragonkin. Yeah, I mean, it's solid advice, and maybe what you learn there will help. Either you did invite me to come, so maybe I'll be able to help, but or at least we'll have that idea of, narrow down the search a bit, because the thing is, as society grows, so too does religions, and everyone has their own take on things, so stories get mangled, and if we can narrow things down, boy, would that be helpful.
What I'm looking for is, across the fables of the religions, consistency in the tales. Something where the lines seem to match up. Everything else might be considered apocryphal, but the more times I hear the name Marcius Flux from across the world and relegating to the things I'm asking, the more I am interested in looking for this person.
That makes a lot of sense. Marcius is a real interesting individual. Their story is a wild one, and it took me a while to even believe it, but after reading his most recent works, I kind of get it a bit more. Well, there's a lot of things that are defined within the Chronicles, so to speak. No one could quite identify the gender of the supposed hero. There was a lot of wonderings in early writings if that was to make the piece seem more applicable to more people, that kind of thing. But it seems more so that who they were as an individual needed to be removed from a lot of the work because their previous identity before they ascended, the true knowledge of it would be too powerful. While there are people on this earth that physically met the individual, but as far as I'm aware, or they would be out and such, even their memory has become hazy of it.
The only one I could think of who would even possibly have met this individual would be Eladrin, the Immortal.
But those two, well, they were at one point in the fight, and they were on the same side.
And he's not exactly on speaking terms with us right now.
I'm not sure he's on speaking terms with many people. It's kind of his problem.
I heard a rumor that he was badly injured and hasn't actually run his country in a very long time.
Well, that would be one way of saying it. There's a lot of rumors that come out of the Eladrin Empire, and that'd be one of them. But I mean, the only other thing I can think of, it might not be living people that might be from the time you guys thought about contacting the dead.
Well, one person who could do that's not really here anymore.
Well, if you find the right dead person, you might get more answers that way.
I also thought about traveling outside of Elendor.
That's a trifle complicated, but
not impossible.
Well, no, if people can fall in, people can get out.
Well, I also meant traveling to the heavens.
Oh, wow. Don't quite know anybody that would do that. And a fair, powerful clerics to maybe have a conversation with a dead person before, but can't exactly say I've ever heard of anyone really do that.
I have a unique connection to one in particular.
Well, good for you.
Karen, I want to talk to you. I want to speak to my manager.
Sure. Valman.
Yes.
You went with Cosmalis, right?
Yes.
You're and you actually see the others like sort of outside. Like they too are being shown. That's assuming that Siraj, Darius, and Zep wanted to come here after they finished their day of exploring and trying to shop. Correct? Stop me if I'm wrong.
Zep probably wouldn't. He's not going to get the cannons, but he's got another construction project which requires facilities.
Okay, so you're just going to go straight to that. No problem. So Darius and Zaraj, are you joining these guys at Law Manor, or are you doing other things?
I think I personally, with my click-clack, would probably have dropped Zep off and then try to find the others. So yeah, I probably would show up. I'm not very good at reading, but
Fair enough. But okay. Darius, same. Okay. So you two are also led by the tree with the tree ant to.
Actually, you know, I will join them because what I have in mind, I can actually totally do on the ship. So yes, I will join.
Okay, cool. So Zep, Braun, Darius, and Zaraj, you see Valmir walking across a quadrant with across a quad with a formal looking Minotaur, whilst you are led to this position by a tree ant. Valmir, you also see this other group.
Yeah, I know him.
Across the quad, sure.
Yeah.
Right, keep walking. Don't let them know that we see them. Quick, keep walking.
Yeah.
Are we going to see Valmir? What is the plan here? I just know that we are at the academy.
Yeah, I think we should go with Valmir. I thank you, Mr. Tree Man. Very cool. But we know him, so we're going to hop on his bandwagon.
No problem. Would you like an apple?
Yes.
Yeah, he gives you an apple. If anyone else would like an apple, you may also take an apple.
I would like to try this.
Just unpicks these apples from his tree hair, and
thus humanity was doomed.
Sweet.
No.
He's not a snake.
How long does it take you to grow a new one?
Or about 20 or so minutes.
Oh, okay. It is a pretty secure supply then.
That's it is.
Oh, thank you very much.
Stomps back off. But yes, so group 2, just for brevity's sake, unless Valmir, you were doing something secretive.
Not anymore.
If not,
hey, Valmir, what you up to?
You can point them
Inside
to where
check.
the others are. Remember, like.
No, it's all good.
Okay.
Can we detect the disappointment on his face?
Probably not.
Okay. So you go to the other academy. Which one were you going to again? Just remind me.
Wherever, wherever Pericles was.
Okay. So that is, I think he's in like the local histories sort of one. And it's more like, so you go into this this building, and it's a similar vibe to the theological library, except the shelves in here are made of stone for starts, and there's still like the growth and like life of like trees and like water features running through here, etc. But there's a little less light. It's a bit darker, and a lot of the flora in here seems to be like of like a hardier breed, kind of like it's used to like either colder climes or darker climes, sort of like if you were to have a garden, it would be the ones that you would plant mainly in the shade kind of thing. Whereas the other room was a lot brighter, a lot more light bouncing off of mirrors, etc., to like expand the light around, where this is kind of calmer. And eventually you're taken to like a second floor, sort of like, it's got like one of those ring open centered like catwalk balconies, like a second floor where it's just like not the full floor space, it's just like one of those squares around the top. And there at a rounded table is Pericles Cosmalis, a similar looking Minotaur, slightly different fur color. And yeah.
I'm going to introduce us. Themistocles?
Oh, yes. What was your name again?
Valmir.
Brother, I have someone you want to meet. Come on. And he just looks up. Oh, brother. What is... Wait. No. Don't tell me. He just kind of eyes you. Oh, no, no way. Absolutely not. Surely. And he just kind of like trots up to you and just like starts almost manipulating your face. Like no spatial awareness, like no personal bubble sort of awareness. He's like pulls out like a little measuring stick and like it starts measuring your horns, and it's just like fully like just completely gone. Like you are just another sort of element to a natural history museum that this individual is now just observing and is just like taking mental calculations and is just
I'm gonna misty step away from that
go for it. You can do so. How far are you going with the misty step? Like
10 feet, just
okay,
out of reach, because that's weird.
And it just oh yes, I'm sorry. Where are my manners?
That was bit close for hi.
My apologies. Pericles Cosmalis. And you, sir, are
Valmer Kensek.
Familiar. That's Any relation to Kensik Keep?
Yeah, that's where I'm from. That's me. Have you been there?
I have not. I've studied many a map. And I've there was just an element of your linguistics that pointed me towards that end of the Eladrin Empire, and then your name obviously put in a big sort of yes. That's a big dead giveaway right there. Question. And he just starts taking a note. Do you know how you got your horns?
I have a vague idea, sure.
Good, and do you remember it well?
I was born with them.
Brilliant, that's the right answer. Good, yes, that's exactly what I thought. That's 7 now from the Underdark alone. Oh, yes.
7 what?
You!
7 me?
7 you, yes, you know... You!
Tieflings?
What? Your type!
Specifically drow tieflings?
Well, no... Well, most of them are... Well, one's not, but...
What are they here seeking, these other 7, these other 6? They came to visit you?
Valmir here is a very rare type of tiefling. And I have been tracking where certain elements of them have been born, and, well, that's 7 now from the Underdark, which is, well, the second highest population now of these very rare type of tieflings. And it is a wonder to actually see one. Normally alive, that is. Normally I find them post-mortem and have to learn about their histories from word of mouth. Post-facto.
And where is the first highest population found of these types of people?
Apparently the morgue.
Well, it tends to be, in high sort of, Fey population centers, actually. But the second highest would be the Eladrin Empire proper.
What specific kind of tiefling do you mean here? Because I feel like you're not just talking about a tiefling with drow parentage. Like, what?
Oh, no, I mean your other lineage.
Oh, Arakas Rozkov.
like saying Voldemort.
Take that as a yes.
Wow.
Does that appear to have injured him or something, or is he just like blown away by the?
Roll an
Wow,
insight.
this one's so smart. Ow, the intelligence.
Roll an insight. What not?
18.
Did you say?
It's more the fact it's just like you look like you word flashbanged him, like he was like, because he's just overwhelmed by actually meeting Valmir. It was like he kind of was like, I was like, he thought this was a very inside conversation with him and his brother kind of thing in terms of knowing what was going on, and then you've just gone, oh yes, I know exactly what you mean. And he was like, what? Oh, this is a very rare point of, well, anthropology. Yes, well, kind of. You got one of the words right.
Which word was
The
right?
Rurokaz one.
Why is Arakaz wrong?
Well, because it's very hard to define which of the greater Rurokaz demons it could have been, or devils.
There are several.
Yes, it's so, what do you know of the Blood War?
Everything.
This man also is like constantly volume 10. Like, you think even whispering for him is a very difficult, but it's like, there are people like on the floor below going,
Well, I know a lot about the Blood War, but my friend here, and I point to Darius,
Insight
they-
check.
they know nothing about this, and I think we're
what are
trying
you
to help
inciting,
him
Darius?
learn
I'm
about.
I'm inciting Zaraj.
Oh, okay.
And I would also like to roll a history check to see if it's 180 and Darius knows everything.
Okay, go for it. Do it, just do it.
Can I deception check this? Can it?
Yeah, totally.
I'm gonna say, is that linked to Asmodeus in any way?
Well,
Okay, so
yes
Darius
and
definitely
no.
doesn't know anything.
Okay.
Doesn't know that Zaraj is being facetious there.
But if you have any books that we may
But
teach
Darius
our
run-
uneducated friend here.
Darius, you
Darius
know...
did roll a 25, but actually I know quite a bit. We don't need to go over it at all. I know
The blood...
most of it.
You know the premise of the Blood War, like, you know...
No, the premise of it. We don't need to go over that unless somebody here
Well-
doesn't know. But you seem to know quite a bit.
I just think perhaps the more books that we have at our disposal, would be
Probably
good.
wouldn't know it at the level of a professor of such distinguished stature as yourself, Pericles.
We get like a mid-level.
He blushes. Oh, well, as you say, the Blood War is an ongoing, forever conflict in one of the outer planes between the kin of devil and those of demon kind as they clash and battle and fight. Well, one of the theories is that early in this plane's formation, it was used as a breeding ground for a specific type of devilkin, the Rurokaz, or Riftborn. Then there was greater devils that were born, and then eventually this specific devilish army that was born here was generated and was fought until eventually something happened and that process stopped happening anymore. But sometimes the devils, obviously, whenever the difference is that when they are banished, it would say in combat they banish here. So it's interesting because their lineage doesn't go to the external planes. They are tied here, which makes them blissfully unique. And then their interweaving population is how you get someone like, well, you.
So
And my studies seem to align that the blood type of the Fae is more susceptible to this rift connection. Mainly because I think anyway, that a lot of the Fey ancestry is tied externally. So, Fey being external and this being more internal allows for easier molding.
Do you have a sort of family lineage chart or some sort of records about all the different Roscov devils?
I have heard of some. There are many. There is... the name you said, Alucas.
Yeah, that's the name.
How did you learn
that? From another one like me. My, I think, half-brother.
Alucas means... It's... it means like... first, primary, alpha,
Okay.
I think a direct would be first servant. So it seems to be more of a title.
Is this in infernal language or something else?
It's an older form of infernal, yes.
I'm gonna say something infernal, see if he can understand me. I say something like, "Oh, that's very interesting."
He says back to you.
Like goes down on negative.
Yeah,
It's
all
already dark.
all the candles around you just like flicker out. He says,
Black speech of Lord.
sorry, my accent's not very good. The snout, you see, doesn't go well.
Fair.
And who commands these devils in the Blood War? For my friend over here who doesn't, he needs...
Well, they are...
We've established. I know what's going on.
Well,
Really
they're a creation of Asmodeus's and a couple of unknown others entities. The problem is, because of their direct connection to this plane, it became, once the whole War of the Heaven thing happened, it became problematic for them to serve in the Blood War, because they couldn't get back there as easy. So, Asmodeus kind of went around and just kind of killed quite a lot of them.
So, these Roscov have had children in this mortal plane in the centuries since the Blood War, or I guess it's still going on, since this element of it.
Very much so. Like any devil or demon, they can't seem to keep it in their pants.
I imagine
Get it? Because they have horns, so they're horny.
Flicks his own.
I'm just gonna stare at you.
That is exactly what I expected Darius to do, just right there, just...
So, these others, is there a name for child of a Roscov?
Well, just a Roscov tiefling kind of is the tantamount word, but it's not really been defined much. I've only come across, less than 100 or so in my studies.
And there have been, like, elven-based tieflings as well that you've seen?
Yes, well, it's like I said, the majority of the exploration and the study I've done is like, going through data is like, a lot of those that have been buried or passed on or whatever. The largest population is sort of Fae.
Of the dead ones, what seems to be the cause of death for most of them? Are they murdered?
Yes,
or...
mostly murdered.
Any details on why or motive or cause or a weapon?
I'm not a police officer. I can have a look through my notes. Goes into like one of his back.
It's usually how a police officer finds out things too. It's through notes.
Am I in danger?
Would it be possible for us to copy your notes, your files on all of these other children of the Rwazkov clan?
Well,
family?
I can certainly give you some. I haven't finished my book on them yet, is the problem.
We'll sign something to say we're not going to steal the paper.
Non-disclosure
subject.
agreement, no problem.
Or non-compete. We'll sign that.
What was the most recent, other than myself, that you've met? Like, how long ago?
Well,
the living one, I guess.
Well, you're the first living one.
Oh, wow.
And you've seen hundreds, and I'm the first living one. Over how long have you been?
You're the first one I've seen living. I know of other living ones. I don't want to fully scare you. So, I was recently.
You did just say they've been murdered most of the time.
Yes, I understand the confusion. It's no, it's more of the fact of the royal cars always seem to be driven in some way or form into a nomadic way of life. They don't stay where they were born very often. So when I obviously get a hold of birth certificates or data like that, find out where they were born, how they were born, that kind of thing, they're not normally there.
Are they ever in contact with the Rwazkov that sired them? Just out of curiosity, is there any?
Oh, pish toss! That sounds like a wives' tale where a tiefling has this infernal connection to their greater deity on the earth. He's gonna insult you.
Azura just stares at him, does not smile, does not blink.
That's the part. Just sip the coffee.
Can you just make a deception? Can you make a deception?
I mean, sure. We got a solid 19.
Yeah, it is solid actually.
Not
Look,
enough.
it was
sadly.
teetering on the one for a while there. I'm not gonna lie.
Bloody 9 hells! Are you saying you've spoken to one?
Yeah.
Decibel drop there in that voice.
That's right.
Yes, that was noticeable. Is that actually when?
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's.
Yes.
Fascinating. He just starts making notes, like ravenously.
Foaming at the mouth.
I'm going to use thaumaturgy to make the lights in the room flicker and change to purple.
Is that you?
That's where I get my magic from.
Fascinating. Just continues to.
Does Braun have a photo memory?
Zep, does Braun have a photographic memory? If not, Zep.
I'd more expect Zep to.
Zep doesn't, but with his crazy intelligence, he can remember most things. But it's not the feat. He doesn't have that.
Excuse me, sir. May I just take a peek at your notes? I promise I will not share them with anyone. We're trying to decipher this, and any advancements that we make in this field of study, we will also share with you.
For
I feel
credit.
like we're already
On
giving
the-
quite a lot by me being here. If I'm kind of like the subject of your.
No, just, please just, I don't, I'm making notes now, but I don't have
Slow down.
copies. I don't have copies, and I
We
don't
can
know how
make
to.
copies. It's okay. No big deal.
How
Just hand them
fast
over
can you
and-
copy? Because I am going to be writing non-stop now.
Okay.
All right. So
Instantly.
this is our day. Okay.
My name is Zaraj Xerox the Knight.
Xerox? Was that
Not
right?
something I knew before.
It's abyssal for
Oh wait,
super
your
fast
printer.
copier.
Fuck! I just got it. Fuck! Shit!
Yeah, you didn't get that?
I do now. Look, it's been a while since I've used a bloody printer.
Okay, it's just like, oh, good. So he begins making notes. Do you mind if I take measurements?
Yes.
What if I buy you a drink first?
Better.
What sort of measures is this guy trying to take?
With that one sentence, you've implied a connotation here that makes that makes it a whole lot less comfortable.
This man is an
I'm gonna
anthropologist.
do minor illusion, and it's like a perfect rendition of my head, and it's like you can measure.
Brilliant!
Well, don't you just have your shadow? Isn't the shadow just you, but like not like it's just like a silhouette?
Sure, I don't want to scare him though. All right, I'll pop out my shade and.
It's effectively said you talk with a demon when he's okay.
Well,
with that.
is there any other pertinent
almost had a
questions
heart
I can
attack.
answer?
The rest of us aren't there, right?
No.
Yeah, you-
Those of you who are still with
figured.
the other guy are still with the other guy. This is what's happening at the same time as
We
your
can't.
conversation.
This stream
Honestly,
can't handle
I
two
feel
of
like
them
I
at the
would
same
be-
time.
Probably
My voice
murdered
can't
by
handle two.
Gourd and Breton if they were here at this point.
Zep's just kind of watching in baffled bemusement at this point.
Sure.
I'm trying to shovel papers at Zep so that he remembers them to take notes later.
I cannot carry very many of these, Raj. What do you want me to do with this?
Just look at them. Remember.
There's a table.
Oh,
over
you want me
there.
to read them?
Yes, please.
Fine.
I mean, they're like flashcards.
Highlight.
Zep will start reading and will very quickly get bored of reading.
Yep. Fair enough. That doesn't read. He's not a reader. He's not a big reader.
Dude, the smart one. I grew.
Yeah,
He's a
It doesn't
doer.
He's a
mean you're
doer.
reader.
Zep is one of those incredibly annoying people that's just super smart without studying a day in their life.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Oh yeah.
As soon as you get to
Insanely
university, you're
Those.
fucked, but you just breeze through school.
No
Don't
work
help me
ethic.
like that.
And me. And
Yeah.
my
And me.
wife.
Wow. Keep looking at all of ourselves. So,
Yeah. It's a dark
Yes.
mirror.
Valmir, I'm going to ask in my normal voice because fuck. Fuck,
You've
I hate them.
established a voice for this character. You need to do.
Yeah, I
you
know,
stick
and
with
it is
Commit.
almost it's Brian Blessed, but I am not Brian Blessed. So
I got that. I definitely got that vibe.
yeah, so is there anything you want answered specifically? Do you have other questions that you want? If not, I will say that you guys are spending some time sharing information, etc.
I mean, the fact that he doesn't know any other, like, personally has not met any other living ones.
He's not met any other living ones, but he knows where some are from.
Yeah, I'd ask that then. Like, who are the ones that you know of that are alive?
Well, living, I know of 3 from, including yourself, from the Underdark. There is around 5 living that are from the Eladrin Empire proper, and there was 1 from Korzak, and I think 1 from Haveray. That was my most recent research trip, It wasn't what I was there for, but I was actually... It's what I found in my research of other things. I heard because I was looking into the various congenialities of the blood there, and how they now differ from other, the species interaction, etc.
And were these descendant of just Rosecove in general?
Just General Rosecove is very rare for someone to quote on a different. Yes.
Have there been any of that lineage that you've known of? Living or dead?
Well, a lot of the information I come by is third, second hand. You are the first. Right there.
Would there be any reason for a dragon to be above a Rwaskov? Perhaps a void dragon? Something that comes out of a plane of existence to blow your brains when you look at it?
Better question. Are you familiar with that before we ask you questions about it?
If you think this guy's cool, let me tell you about this dragon. I almost died when I looked at it.
He's an anthropologist. He might not actually care at all.
Yeah, he's like, I study one thing and one thing only.
He's got one field of study. I mean, that's just...
I mean, anthropologist, phrenologist. I mean, it's close enough, right? I'm trying to measure my skull.
Ooh, don't say that in front of him.
Well,
Nice.
I haven't heard of a demon, devil, hell dragon, but
You will soon. That's for sure.
isn't the evil goddess Tiamat one of the denizens of the hells?
She has a lot of heads.
What's Tiamat's relationship with Asmodeus? Fuck buddies or
Flash genius. Flash
I can tell you what it is in Forgotten Realms, not so much here.
But they would have a dragon at their disposal, yes, for the Blood Wars. I mean, it would make sense that this is in the relation to...
I don't know if you can breed demon soldiers. Do you need a dragon?
Well, they breed devil soldiers. See, now, demons are on the other side.
Yes.
In fairness, if you've got the ability to breed dragons and you don't breed dragons, you deserve to lose your war.
We've killed dragons.
I know, but they're still cool.
Like we've killed, like they have to, it takes a long time for them to like be an issue to grow.
Dragon.
I wonder if it would be possible to encase a skyship in plate armor and then have its wings and it can fly.
It's almost like
It would be a
some sort
steam
of
dragon.
a clad in iron or
Yeah.
something. A flying iron-cladded ship.
How many scales?
Cool. So
Also have a turret
to answer your
cannon.
question of the nine hells, Asmodeus is Asmodeus is the lord of the ninth hell, and Tiamat is the queen of the first layer of hell. He's kind of her boss,
Okay, so it goes.
Well, really? No archdevils?
I believe. But there's. Look, my knowledge is limited, but that's my understanding. This is not DM. This is what he's saying.
No, we got it because
No,
of the voice.
Would say there was a dragon that came out of hell into this
Theoretically.
plane of existence, and say just hypothetically,
Literally.
hypothetically,
Maybe.
This happened.
for instance,
Allegedly.
potentially, would an Arcaz Roscov say that they don't want to fuck with them because they're like either their boss or their boss's like favorite thing or something like.
Well, the two Minotaurs sort of look at each other. Well, hierarchy in the Outer Planes is a big thing. Because if you piss someone off that's higher up, you tend to die. And immortal creatures like living.
Funny enough, mortal creatures like living as well.
Yes.
So,
Well, yes, but you've got something to look forward to after, at least.
Sure.
On that note, what would happen to me if I died?
Well, I'm no theologian, but it depends on what you believe in.
I was brought up to revere Lolf, but I don't know about that anymore.
Oh, well, good luck.
Valmir, do you know which way our friends have gone? I have not seen them. Sol and Breton.
Yeah, they went off with Flapple Shield, Professor.
Would it
Oh!
be possible, very kind Minotaurs, if I offer you to measure my friend Valmir some more? If you came with us to go meet up with them in the other part of the library, we could discuss this matter further. Valmir has got the tail you
Well,
can
yes,
measure.
yes,
and-
I don't
we
think
both.
you can.
You're not.
I
No, that's no.
I don't think you can speak for him in that sense as a bargaining chip. That is
I'm definitely like more on the Darius side of personal space than
Why don't you measure
mean-
yourself and put it in the book for me?
I already have here. It's inches. No, I mean,
Summer keeps perfect measurements all the time. It's kind
Valmir, I just think that we should meet up and perhaps we should discuss with our entire group, with these people and those people, and we bring it to a big,
that's a great point. Apart from, I think Soul would murder me.
Well, Sol's going to
Jeez.
murder everyone if
I
we...
get that. I would like to delay that.
But then you'll find out what happens if you die.
I'd rather delay that too.
Okay.
Don't we all?
Let's get things straight. Soul wouldn't murder you. She'd make Breton do it.
Well,
tried.
we know Flap. Professor Appleshield is one of the people we're here conversing with. So yeah, we can go over there. I'm sure. A bit more private than out here. I'd assume it'd be more comfortable for you for me to be talking about all this devils and devil worship stuff.
Just no
Yes, you
devil
are-
worship. That
And-
we didn't talk about that. That
You're
Oh,
also
that's freedom of religion
exceedingly
here.
loud.
Don't worry.
still no.
Well, okay.
Can I gauge like the random
Sure.
like patrons of this place? Like, how are they feeling about this conversation that's just being aired in public about
I mean,
somebody's
the fact
potential?
that I made all the lights go purple and flicker. I mean, I'm not sure how many stuck around.
It's definitely not good for their their reading. 12.
Well, you can see a lot of people have like cleared out.
Tuned him out. Okay. Good.
There's one person who is just like fast asleep at a desk. You think?
How?
It's loud in a library. I mean, maybe we're just annoying more than like scaring people.
Oh, we're definitely more annoying than scaring people. That was what I was worried about. But all right.
Okay, cool. So, going back to the other party, you guys can join them in a moment. Breton, you are writing something down.
Yes, he was making a list that he personally was not there for this information being passed out, but from what I know of Ruby would have put this information in her journal as something to look at later, and this is probably something that Sol and Breton have talked about quite a bit. And he has written down everything they know about the seals in Elendor. Namely, he has made a list that just says Lifestone, Brawler's Heart, Blade of Equilibrium, the Dark Mask, the Scales of Law, and the Heart Helm of Elendor.
Breton was here when you got this information. This was...
Was he?
Yeah, this was post...
This may have been after Breton, pre-Zedaar leaving. Okay, there was a time period that was
Yeah, this was as Zedaar was leaving. This was first days of Soul's existence kind of area.
Yes.
This
kind of show it says, honestly, the thing that we are more interested in is we're looking for every bit of information we can find on this. Location, significance. These are the things that we're looking for in a hope to better keep them safe.
Okay. We are... He looks.
If there's any references into this in any of the tomes that you've studied about the Elendor Chronicles, that would be information that would be critical to know.
Well, the Lifestone itself, for example, was always said to be with the hero throughout of their existence. The character with them always. It never went. They didn't go anywhere without it. It's really peculiar because it's one of those things of, though it's an object in nature, it seems to have always been given an air of sentience about it. Then the heart, the helm of Elendor. This gets referenced a lot in this kind of mistaken way where they're trying to those older languages kind of conflicting there. It seems to be that the hero themselves had a very identifiable piece of like a suit of armor that it was just like became their visage, and again, it was one of those things that was with them for a long time. It was interesting because it was one of those things just like a lot of their items were given to them by other gods in their journeys and in their travels before the war and armaments, but the armor themselves is something that they crafted, and it goes very deep into that, was one of the only pre-summit texts that exists, or discussing that in detail, which is one of the Dagran Torney's works, the Warrior and the Dreams of the Smith, which is, he's actually a follower of the Dwarven Pantheon, and it's about the Dwarven creator god's interaction with the hero, and there's a whole section of him complimenting the suit of armor that the hero is wearing.
Yeah, there was some research that was done there that pertained to the confusion in these words. Namely, the heart was not a heart, but a heart is an animal, and there was some theory that it may have been a stag's hide helm, something to that effect.
Yeah, that's an interesting theory. He begins to make some notes of that. You said Brawler's Heart. Brawler's Heart. Well, that is
I'm trying very hard not to make eye contact with Soul, since the notes on this they have is Soul an example of this?
Brawler's Heart was an offering from the goddess Brawler to Elendor. This actually happened in the text that I myself was studying down, that you interrupted me from. One of the few things that happened here in sort of this region, it was his interactions with Brawler, because Brawler as it goes, she's only a minor goddess, but she's integral to the story of the hero and the king that never was, or however you want to reference them, because they were a convincing factor for other gods like Palor for them to take such an interest. Think of them as like a benefactor is the wrong word, but like a first patron almost of them. One of the first people to really believe in them. Now, she is a lesser god and seen as a sort of... she tends to be leading in series of love and compassion and healing, and she's a very gentle kind of soul, and she is Bala's heart is meant to be her greatest offering. As to what it is exactly is not as clear, but in the Codices of the Mother, which is her holy book, people believe it to be a pendant, which has an essence of her true power, and it's her motherly sort of power, and she created 3 of these in supposedness, one symbolizing each of her children.
That was 3 amulets, you said?
That's correct. She had multiple gifts. She had one that each symbolized each one of her children, and it's not clear if whether one of these was then given to the hero or a 4th was made, which would be highly unusual because one of those things of as a goddess, she kind of wasn't known for hugely getting involved in mortal kind, in other than like in terms of gifting objects. She would obviously, people often played to her in childbirth, things like that, and always had done. And there was often a helping hand, and sometimes in like early stories it said that she actually came and became a sort of a midwife to certain entities back before the War of the Hair, like the closing of the gate, and stopping the interaction of the divine. She would actually be often preyed upon by the masses to come and help deliver the children of great leaders and kings, and see that the offsprings of the royalty were brought into the world, kind of thing. And her own kin and kids are the two of them make up the pantheon that are members of the pantheon of the king that never was.
Soul looks real awkward right now, by the way.
Do you happen to have a copy of those texts? You said the Codices of the Mother?
I have a couple editions. You want just the clearest or the oldest?
The oldest, please.
I'll be in here, actually. And he goes over to his own bookshelf.
Does it happen to not be a copy? Do you have an idea of where an original might be located?
This is the thing. The Codices of the Mother is one of those ones that the organized faith for Brawlers itself wasn't. It's not really a pre-histories thing. She's often chimed in mostly with her husband. Her own sort of following is kind of sprung up in its like own divine form, own true form. Sorry, in about the 200s. So I've got one that goes about that far back.
That'll work.
You say that she made these pendants for her 3 children and may have made a 4th for the hero. Is it possible that the hero was one of her children?
Therefore, Mitch, did we actually meet back up already?
Not quite yet, but probably just about very, very soon. Sorry, just about soon that these guys will be coming back in. Sorry, we've flipped back.
Because I know we're on the way. So
yeah. You guys probably about 5 more minutes. It's just the Minotaur spoke a little bit too much.
I just wanted to clarify that to know how much we might have to recap later.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, making notes of that.
But for ease, we can say everyone has meets up about around now as the conversations of Brala begin to.
Do they
unfold.
have? I'm sorry. Does Brala have any connection to an entity called Chloris?
Chloris? You mean? No, not really. Brala was from the Outer Planes, and
yeah,
Chloris's connection seems to be to the Elemental Planes. From what I know of her.
Here?
Oh, well, that's an interesting part of this plane's lore, so to speak. It's not often touched upon, but before the War of the Heavens, there was a couple of periods, and then in the period before that, we had the first elemental period kind of thing. Chloris was one of the major titans of that era. The way this plane formed, supposedly, if you believe in all that, is that each of the elemental chaoses took over a section of this plane, and that's how like the land masses were formed, were when battles between fire and water took place, and the elemental planes of the earth expanded upon that, the air. Chloris was, if I get this right, she was a bastard child of the elemental fire's sort of leader of their kingdom on this plane. And well, with all chaotic sort of entities of pure elemental, they don't exactly have the same sort of alignment as we'd be here today.
Yeah.
So there's not really a connection there. Chloris is, and by all accounts, would be off this plane, whereas Brala isn't. But who knows?
I don't know where we could find her.
Professors. And you've got other friends. Oh, I recognize you. Well, come on in, everybody. Seems we're having a party in my private study. Would anyone like a drink or anything? I can have something brought up if we're all getting all metaphysical these days.
I'm getting quite parched, yes.
I want to insight check that from James.
A nice red.
Mm-hmm. A 9. That's okay.
He's gonna look at you and give you a wink.
Water, some red wine. O negative.
What's O negative?
Any of those would suffice, yes.
It's unionized orange juice.
Wow, that's a fancy name for that.
Orange is a health nut.
So,
I wonder what that would actually do to the orange juice. Sorry.
Quick question, guys.
cost twice as
So,
much.
have we discussed how to perhaps find and close portals?
You say what now?
Anything about
We
closing
weren't
portals?
covering that. We were not talking about that, Siraj.
Hmm.
Well, we were just discussing a minor goddess by the name of Brala. She's a real interesting individual, just namely because of her interconnectivity with other gods, more so than anything. I mean, her following's pretty darn neat. She's the patron goddess of a lot of people like midwives and nurses and doctors and faith healers, kind of that jib, but you know. There's some sort of connection to her and the seals. We were discussing the seals of Elendor, professors.
Oh yes, we know of some of those.
Oh, you know of the seals as well. This person's wow. This is we have found quite the conversationalist. It's really reverberating around this room.
Yeah, no,
the glass window is like.
Do you guys happen to know about certain creatures that police the time-space continuum? Is that something either of you have heard of?
No.
Is the time-space continuum a concept in this world at this point?
What's
Probably
a
not.
continuum?
Yeah. Do they have a
He
unified
lives
concept
on
of gravity and physics?
One person does.
We met them on an island that was flying. Just wondering if that's something you have a book about.
The thing I mentioned before that caused a god to say, "Oh."
Three professors kind of look at each other.
No.
Oh. Then Stockley pokes up. Well, flying island sounds like elemental plane of the air, at least to the stories. But they all three of them look a little bit dumbfounded at that question.
Soul just shakes her head.
What are you trying to get at, Siraj, with that question?
I'm just trying to see if perhaps there is a way for us to find that thing again or use their knowledge to close portals until we can figure out how to deal with the Chronicles and the seals of Elendor. Perhaps we can do damage control as portals are opened or some. I don't know. I don't really. Just spitballing.
Didn't the portal that the dragon came through, didn't that close after itself?
Yes, but what if we closed it before the dragon almost killed me?
I feel like getting up close to that thing is unwise.
At least at this point in time.
The reason I share the list is because we were just looking to know if there's any leads you could give us on rumored locations, legends, and lore about where these things might be found. And I realize this is a complicated endeavor because most of these things have only been referenced in texts that were documented 1,000+ years ago, and even if the locations in the original tomes were accurate, there's no amount of telling of whether or not that is still sanctified or not, whether or not these items are still where they were originally pinned to have been somewhere they wound up.
Well, the one person I can think of that would definitely have that kind of knowledge would be Delphina. Oh, Delphina! That cur of a woman! Well, yeah, you might not like her writing and her style, but she is knowledgeable.
Rubble, 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 rubble.
Delphina, where would we potentially find this Delphina?
Well, I could call her, find out where she is.
Yes, please.
Who is this Delphina?
Oh, she's she's a academic. A lot of her writing's a load of old pish. She mumbles on about fables and histories and mythos, but it's very commercialized and is not as factual in feel. Just because she expands upon some of the information she gets and adds color to it doesn't mean that it's any less factual. Well, what do you mean any less factual? We proved but the section on the lost ships around the Sea Serpent Pass was completely completely false. Okay, so she expands upon a bit, but there's always some grounding in her knowledge. These two have kind of just begun arguing over Delphina and her works.
You're talking about contacting her so we can figure out where she might be.
Oh, yes. Hold on a minute. Let me go make a call. Shuffles out the room.
I would like to follow him out of the room.
Sure.
Baron is going to take the list of the seals that he's written, and he's just going to hand it to Saul. It's like, if you wouldn't mind getting rid of this.
He'll grab it and it'll conflagrate and vanish.
Cool. Is there anything you guys would like to discuss?
We have a lead.
Is that lead still in
Atria, yes.
Atria, okay. At least we're going the right way then.
Seems Atria might be one of the other sources of long-term knowledge that exist in the realms, but this Delphinia might also be a solid choice depending on where they are. If we lose leads on anything post-Atria, then this might be a source to choose.
We should see if we can secure some reliable means of communication back and forth with these individuals, especially if they could help us get through the documentation or whatever we gather a little bit faster. They might be a very valuable asset to stay in touch with.
We have, I think, discovered something that might lead us on our quest. There have been consistencies in the tales that we have been taught between the journals that Ruby has written and the places we have been. A lot of it is fluff, apocryphal text, but details are starting to emerge of a grander plot regarding the seals of Elendor. And we think we'll be able to find more consistent information in Atria in a series of texts called the Chronicles of Elendor. The Elendor Chronicles, excuse me. Your midget's laughing.
I should get the name of the show wrong.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to do that. I totally didn't do that earlier.
These books, Chronicles, are located probably across the world, but they would give us the true information, as much as can be said to be true, about these seals, what to find them, how to protect them. Additionally, we now have a name of our enemy, or at least I think we do. More than just the Eladrin Empire.
Oh.
The scorned ones of them.
Possibly Tiamat as well.
I would imagine that many of the deities who were ousted from Elendor when the King that Never Was rise had a bone to pick with him and would work to undo his works wherever they could. And because the gods, up until recently, could not interfere directly, they worked through intermediaries, champions, clerics of their own faith, perhaps.
If the scorned ones of them are is the name of our enemy, I think just kinda not that make Eladrin the Immortal our friend?
I don't
Potentially?
think he's in charge, but that's a different topic.
Well, the empire that bears his name has a pretty big bone to pick with the scorned ones of them.
Yeah. The crux of this whole problem is we don't have enough to go on, which is why Atria is, I think, our next best destination.
Okay.
And if not that, there is another whose name was mentioned that I think we should go visit. Marcius Flux in Kaiteng. I think he's in their capital.
We've heard his name a few times. That makes sense.
Yeah. He would be one with an outsider's point of view. Somebody whose texts are not biased as Elendor's might be.
Zedaar, can you roll me a stealth check?
I wasn't trying to stealth. I was just going to follow, but I will roll it if you would like. But I'm
Okay,
trying
if you're
to
not,
just,
if you're not being stealthy, then don't worry about it.
yeah, just like walk with him and, explain. I'm very curious about this Delphine person, and also, how is it that you are making a call? Is this some sort of magic or?
Oh, well, I got some sending stones in my bedroom that I used to contact people. It's very useful to be able to contact other like-minded individuals such as myself.
Was sort of wondering, perhaps maybe we could get one that we might establish a line of communication with you as well.
Well, I mean, I'm not really in the. I could sell you one, but I kind of use them all.
Are we not looking into your exact line of study? Are we not going on an adventure here to figure out and also perhaps kind of save the world?
Give me a persuasion
Something that
check.
you are interested in?
Give me a persuasion check.
He is, in fact, a member of the world.
13.
Well, that's true, but if I give you one of these, then my capabilities in keeping in contact with other like-minded intellectuals will be much harder. So, if indeed you do find a way to contact me, I'm going to be able to do less for you. If you catch my drift.
I am catching this. Well, let us give this Delphine a call, and I will see where she is located and perhaps have her meet us somewhere. That might be easier for my group to coordinate.
Well.
This dude over here doesn't want to spend his precious minutes on the Skyfire Adventuring Company
Look,
it's 2004.
long distance calls with Elendor are a bitch. The rates are crazy.
The nighttime. I gotta talk to you after 7 p.m.
AT&T, 10 cents a minute.
Actually, Zedaar, now that you're walking with him closely, give me a perception check.
Yes, I think I will.
Assassino.
14.
Probably enough. He has a very interesting ring on his finger. That has a symbol on it. that looks like a all right, let me just so it's like a star with a ring around it, and then in the center of this one there is like an eye that's like red. So it's like the rest of like the star shape and like the ring around it is like made out of the gold, and then the ring's metal, and then the eye itself has been painted. It's like mainly red, but the pupil bit of it is green.
Do I recognize this symbol?
Give me a religion check.
That's a 4.
Not really.
Hey, cool piece of jewelry you have there. Is it magic?
Oh, it's not magical. It's sentimental.
Understandable.
Understandable.
What's the symbol on it?
It's a star in a circle with an eye.
Star with
This guy's in the Illuminati.
I want to believe.
I will not bring up the ring further until we are doing our call with Delphine. I want to see where she is and if I can speak to her myself, or if I can give him a message to give to her.
Okay. He goes into the bedroom and goes into like bedside drawers, and there's just like a line of like 5 sending stones. And this one. Hiya, Delphine. It's Flap. I've got some rather peculiar individuals here asking about the Elendor Chronicles and the seals. Where might she be roughly right now? You'll want to talk to them. She says she's at a friend of hers island right now, but she can try to meet you guys somewhere. She sounded
to go
very
to Atria?
intrigued.
Can she make it to Atria?
Shakes the stone. Ah, me again. Possibly gonna be able to get to the Great Library at Atria. These fellow friends of ours are heading there, and I'll probably join them a week or so later. Sounds like she can be there.
Great, wonderful. And that is excellent that you will be meeting us there as well. I will not steal his ring. I'll just go back.
I will save.
Okay. Yeah. Closes his bedside cabinet, and you hear a little click as well as the cabinet closes.
Like a lock click.
Possibly.
Anyways, really great, and we just link arms and skip back.
Sure thing. He's like, he's a halfling. But yes, okay. For the rest of you, is there anything you guys wish to discuss anymore with the gathered professors in the clear and present company that you have?
You know, I could craft a sending stone so that we can stay in touch with the professors here to call on their information if we ever need it.
How convenient, because this cheapskate would not share one with us.
If you can make them, why am I giving you mine?
They're common or uncommon? Uncommon, right?
You know,
I
academia
think
does
so.
not pay well, but crime,
Yes, they're uncommon.
I'm sure it does.
So Zep can now make uncommon items at half the cost. So how much would that cost me to make? Bearing in mind, we do also now have an enchanting chamber.
Yes, you do. You can make these things pretty uncommon.
Just make all of the things.
Designers for D&D just like made the artificer class just like, how do we break our game?
You know the economy that's already kind of fucked? Let's fuck it more.
They're like, so in my world they're about 1,400 each roughly, so 700 gold.
So what you're saying is it's like something we got paid at level 1. We can just make those now.
Yeah.
And I would like to take Fappleshield's hand.
No, so
ring.
like sale price would be 1,400. Normal making price is roughly half. So you could make them about 450 gold of enchantment material each.
Yeah, if the party is okay with me taking enchanting materials from the central pool, I'll make one.
Yeah.
So
We spent more on that.
the enchanting materials.
Yeah, we spent more money on paint.
Which I really hope translates
God.
into something good.
God,
But I want to
I
take
wrote-
this dude's hand and I want to put it in the middle of like our friend group and ask Sol and Breton if have you do you recognize this?
So we'll look at it.
Siraj, you need like lessons
Personal
in personal
boundaries that you're
space,
just like-
boundaries.
I would have done the same thing.
I know.
So interesting, isn't it?
Is this religion check?
Yes, or history. Because this
I'm
is.
Religion
we
based
are
higher.
I'm looking,
proficient.
can I
It would-
do?
Same for me.
Well, put it this way. Religion will get you an answer to some of it. History will get the answers to another bit of it.
21 history.
25 religion.
Okay,
18
so
history.
the star and circle behind the eye is the symbol of Maestra, the mother of magic, also, and she's the goddess of magic, arcana, and knowledge. For the most part, to this world. The eye symbol on top of it, however, is the icon of a secret society of academics who talk about various hidden knowledge.
The Illuminati.
By the name of
I would maybe the Library of Alexandria if they had a secret society.
the Society of Invisible Wonder.
Wow, that's
What?
a lot less. I guess it's just a society of just like nerds. So I
Nerds.
guess it would, yeah. That makes the most sense, I guess. It's just
I mean, if your book club casts fucking silver rings, I mean, it's a bit more than just nerds.
Gold.
no.
Gold
Do you
ring.
guys share that
you ever been to a
information
LARP?
with us? Like you people that made the checks?
How about say what again?
Do you guys share that information? The Darius and Sol?
I got more history than Darius.
Yeah, Valmir got that as well.
Oh, then I just need to know if Siraj knows.
Isn't this the Society of
Someone with a weird
Illuminating
name.
Wondrousness? There was a guy in Kensett Keep that had one like that.
My brothers tried joining.
And it's just like, look, are we really going to hide that from them now when we've been openly talking about the Elendor seals? No, you're probably right. Yes, it is that society, and we three are members.
Do you meet often, or
Oh, not all the time, but we're normally always welcome in another's learning establishment. We've had meetings before, but normally for luncheon and discussion and smoking.
It sounds like most secret societies and ever. It's just-
Coffee shop in
So how
It's
would
just an old
one
man's club.
join? I am a fan of collecting clubs. Like I'm a Skyrim character.
A what?
It's okay. It's another secret society I'm a part of.
Oh,
I like to
okay.
be in all of them.
I'd like to join this,
Zaraj has
this
wares,
college.
and they're all yours, but they're mine.
It's normally by invitation, and the group is mainly published academics and people of educational note. And
Would you like to invite my friend Zep? He's an engineer. He creates very cool things. I think it would be very good for your group to have one of us as a member.
Or are they one of those society? Those,
wait, are
like,
you
groups of intelligence?
Sky Spam?
No, they don't snub engineers.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, well, give your uncle my regards. It's been a while. I mean, I'm surprised Zep hasn't already had a letter of admission. If I'm completely honest with you.
Doesn't check his inbox.
Or did he already have it and he just doesn't care?
Probably the latter.
So as soon as you roll over a 35, you get an invite just automatically.
It's a blip on their radar.
The Mensa of
Yeah.
the D&D world.
I would certainly like to keep in communication with you regardless. I think it would be useful for both parties.
Yes, well, I agree.
I will have a sending stone sent to you this evening.
Yes. We are due to be staying here for about another week or so before we head back to Legrang's land. This is the last part of our research tour.
Then please give my uncle my greetings, if you would.
We might, however, extend our stay if a meeting were to be arranged.
Can you arrange a meeting with your secret society?
Well, we can't probably get all of them, but we could get a number.
How far apart are your members scattered?
Oh, we're global. Would you like us to put the feelers out, so to speak?
Just wonder if this group of people actually has any secret knowledge about the things that we are discussing versus if it's worth the time to meet with them.
It might be worth us all meeting in Atria. It sounds like there's a number of you going there already, as it is.
That's right. Well, maybe I'll put the word out tonight and see how many people I can get to meet us there. Various members have means of getting places rather quick. Well, we might get lucky.
Sorry, I overstepped the bounds there. Zep doesn't actually know that Delphine's going yet.
Yeah, I think I said that when I got back.
Okay. In that case, Zep doesn't know.
Well, also, I think it's been explained that Flap is also going to be joining you.
In like a week.
Yeah, as soon as he can get the paperwork done with the government here, for him to go.
Red tape.
Well, in order to expedite it, I'll say that.
We can make that happen.
You are welcome to take passage with us on the ship if you wish, if you are ready to leave soon.
Well, if you guys want to wait for me to get through government red tape, then sure, but I can always just get over there mighty fast as soon as that's done. I have friends that can transit me quite quickly. Plus, you said you wanted to do some of your own research anyway, so you were gonna head on out quick sharpish. But if you're sticking around, then we can always travel together.
Would it not
I
take
think
us a week just to get there regardless?
We should leave soon. As soon as we have taken on new supplies.
I will also ask and maybe point out, any good research and education department needs somebody who's willing to go out in the field to do the dirty work, so to speak. And as we all are united on that front, yours for the knowledge and ours for the saving of the world, perhaps we could establish a way to help that line of communication. If you would learn something important, we would be among the first to know, if not the first, and vice versa.
Well, for me, that sounds like there's something I can definitely do. But as for the wider society, I'm not a spokesperson for us all. But we don't exactly have a rank structure. We're all our own individual people.
There's no leader or...
No, as close as we get is a treasurer who, takes, donations to put together shindigs that we all meet up at. That's we're kind of... It's how we
Coffee
had...
and donut fund.
Basically, yeah.
They run on a GoFundMe.
So he is the social secretary, I see.
Yeah,
Run on a Go-
exactly that. The social secretary.
They run on GoFundMe.
Well, I mean, last time we rented out an old abandoned temple in the deep jungles of Kaitang, and we really tore up the place for a while.
Out of curiosity, do you have access to texts that otherwise members of the public would not be able to reach?
Sorry, what? Have we got what?
Would you have access to certain texts that members of the public...
Well, I mean, a lot of us have our own very storied and large private connections, and then other people are deans of universities and places of study like myself, so I would say, yeah, more so than most, but even we have trouble getting through some of the red tape if it's protected by religious entities or certain individual collectors who don't normally know who have turned away from the society or things like that.
So if I were to ask for, say, a first edition copy of the Book of Ascension?
I'm not even sure there's one of those in full that isn't owned by the church. Well, the Pantheon of Albay, or at the very least, or it's not in the, in the Cathedral of Ascension. That being said, there is definitely people in the society that have seen it.
I'd like to get my hands on something related to a specific line of scripture from it.
I'll see. Well, it depends on who comes, but we'll see who we can get, and I'll point you in the right direction.
Thank you.
It was very nice speaking to you, but the books make me uncomfortable. So I'm going to go back to painting my ship. Thank you very much.
Alrighty then. Well, I've got some calls to make. The professors here seem like they're got a lot of notes to take. There's like...
Oh, are there any scrolls or to sell? Sorry, any scrolls, magic scrolls?
Oh, I'm not a...
No, I just thought.
I mean, you can check at the Hall of Arcana. Not in the Hall of Theology, but...
Sure.
A school bookstore.
They have a
like
small...
a Barnes and Noble.
They have a small store for students that might have something you're looking for.
Just curious. Thank you.
Well, you're mighty welcome. Can I help? Any further questions before we head our separate ways and then head on over to Shindigaroo at Atria?
I believe you've answered every question that most of us have presented to you.
Well, I do try. Alrighty then. Well, unless I hear from you otherwise, I will see you at the Grand Library in Atria.
You'll be getting a sending stone later this evening from Zep,
That's
I believe.
right, I will.
Thank you very much for the assistance you have granted us, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
It's same to you. You've been more helpful than you understand.
Insight check that seems
Yeah,
sketchy.
why?
Why? Does he seem like he's taking our knowledge for some other nefarious? I rolled a 12. I don't know nothing.
It's an academic. He's going to write a paper on it. Now they get a grant.
Flash of genius, 17.
It's hard to tell.
Turns out this guy was the bad guy the entire time. Our entire plan
He
was
just
revealed to the
slowly
enemy.
morphs into a dragon.
Now
Do
I
you
gotta
mean more
think if I've
helpful
ever
than-
heard the word flapple shield as Zedaar.
Yes, what does this mean helpful to you? In which way, sir?
Yeah, I deem all intellectual conversation of such caliber and sustenance as meritful.
Okay. I'm going
Book nerd
to...
learn thing. Book nerd
Do-
learn thing. That's all we need to know.
Okay.
I resent that.
I didn't say that out loud. That was me.
Nerd.
Right. Okay. So
I'm
is
gonna
there
use
anything
my
you guys?
amulet. I use my amulet of detect thoughts. I just need to make
Okay.
sure.
This is so
Curiosity
paranoid.
did what to the cat again? Out of
I am
curiosity.
paranoid because I feel like
So you get surface thoughts, right?
I get surface thoughts and then I can dig deeper
you
on a
digging
whiz
deeper?
save. Well, first off, what are the surface thoughts? Tell me.
Some mighty fine and kind individuals out here.
Oh, now I feel like a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean people aren't trying to kill you.
People are trying to kill me. Okay, I shall probe wisdom save. What's my spell save? DC.
Against the head of theology.
Definitely gonna fail this. It's great.
Wisdom save.
He's gonna fail. You're just gonna
Definitely
hear
burn
in
this
your
bridge.
brain.
I gotta
you're
do
just
it.
gonna hear
I'm doing it.
You're just gonna hear in your brain. What are you doing in there?
Right,
I can't allow that,
What's the DC?
Very nice.
I'm sorry. It's 9, 14.
So naturally, I rolled a 13.
Plus 23.
20, so 20 or something. That's what we thought.
Yes, that would be a 20.
The reverberation in your head. I'm afraid I can't let you do that, sir.
Now.
Just make him sound so creepy. Way more creepy than before.
That's why I don't trust you. You had a cryptic answer.
just
See, I'm picturing a creepy Ned Flanders.
it just suddenly turns into like creepy Mr. Rogers.
Stupid, sexy Flanders.
The old guy from Family Guy. Now.
Well, I
Okay.
can't do the whistling. No, he kind of just stops for a moment and goes, and then just walks off. Doesn't call you out. on it.
So he doesn't
Okay.
call her out, but he looks accusingly at Zaraj.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then all of us look accusingly at Zaraj.
yeah.
I shrug and put the medal back in, like my pendant back in my
Mhm.
cloak.
Before he goes, I just want him to like. I guess if they've got like some sort of like their secret society have like a like symbol or something like that. I just wanted to. Basically, I want to get an autograph from somebody in there because one of my, not a brother, a nephew wanted to join in the family
Right,
at some
okay.
point, and I want to provide that.
Oh, sure.
Just
They get their secret knock too.
Yeah.
Bohemian growth.
Themistocles offers to do a wax imprint for you of
Yeah,
their
that'll
ring.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just get a piece of parchment and get that done.
Cool.
So,
Fine.
That was
Well,
it,
with that,
people.
we're going to take our midpoint break. So we're going to take 10 minutes now to just refresh and join us in 10 for part 2 of tonight's broadcast. Oh, good day. I'm Martin Sanderson, and I'm the CEO of Avari Military Solutions. We here at Avari know that it doesn't take much to cause problems out on the frontier. Whether that be from local pirate raids, neighboring interstellar powers, or even just an unhappy populace with unreasonable demands. Just what is a small to mid-sized regional power to do when faced with these problems? You look to Avari for your solutions. With open-ended contracts, well-trained personnel, state-of-the-art aerospace forces, and competitive rates, we stand ready to help find the right solution to your problem. So if you have a problem, why not call Avari for your solution? Our operators are waiting to take your call, and consultations are free of charge.
Avari Military Solutions, a solution for your problem.
Avari Military Solutions is not licensed to operate within the Kark and Trade Baronies, the Andes Corps, or any Class A combat zones. AMS is a subsidiary of Omni Radiance Holdings, a family company.
When is a story more than a story? When a tale is more than words on paper? When is an ad more than the script it's written on? In the darkest and deepest annals of our own history, worlds of wonder and splendor burst through like a blister made of hope. From the brain that's wrestled and riddled with madness, a radiant pustule. Writing, art, that's storytelling. That is the true lust of life. You too can beautifully indulge in art. Like fans of the greats. Shakespeare, King, Tolkien, Seuss, Mercer. You too can indulge through Twitch Prime. Get an extended access to a wealth of knowledge with a simple click. An emotion so small that it could endlessly amount possibilities. Embrace those feelings. Support art. Support the component cast.
Though much is taken, much abides. And though we are not that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, we are. One equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield.
If we take this job, someone is going to get hurt. Not me, of course. I'm an effing delight. You do what you do, I'll do what I do. I'll keep the red stuff inside of you.
Buddy, we live in Night City. Just breathing can get you killed.
This sort of job? Bullets flying, people dying, gangers riding, corpos trying to take what they don't already own. Doesn't matter. For us, just another day at the office.
When the world seems bleak, you follow your heart. Take that stage without hesitation and give it everything you've got.
There's a lot more to this city than you'd think. You just gotta dive beneath the surface. People like me, we dive into the depths.
And we are back. Once I can get the actual screen up. Why are you not showing? Hello, there we go. We're back. So, we left off with more talking. So, friends, now that the professors are away and you guys shuffle on out of that academy building, if that's what you want to do, what is it you would like to do?
Well, we have the information we need, and we know everything seems to point towards where we are already going. Atria. I don't know how much longer we have left in the city, but if there's anything else we need to do here, get it done, then we should be prepared to leave as soon as possible.
I think we have too much more to accomplish here, right? We got what we came for.
I think we got most everything done this morning, or this afternoon, whatever time of day it is. We are under a large forest canopy, so it's hard to tell.
I think it's probably
Then our merchant's going to yell at us for never stopping at one place for more than 30 seconds, but he'll get over it.
I mean, we could just wait. I mean, this is a nice place to get supplies and shop around a bit.
Did we not just already provision in Kozak?
We provisioned to get to here.
Yeah, we didn't provision to keep going. That's why we came. That's why we got here. Was the
that's
plan?
why you stopped here, was to break that up.
To do that. Yeah, so we need to do that.
So you could take on more goods and do more trading as well.
Yeah, so we'll have a few days probably where we can get ready.
We did the math. Having the less weight in cargo and everything, and taking the shorter trip was what made it faster.
Well, it made it about the same, but there was more of a chance of making money, I think, was the...
And intelligence gathering.
Yeah.
So are we staying here longer then?
I think we're staying here as long as our merchant feels they want to stay down, get everything kind of loaded up. Then moving on to where our original intended place was.
Well,
like a day.
If we're gonna be here for a little while, why don't we see if we could try and expedite all that paperwork so that Flap Apple Shield can join us. And then we could all just ride together.
I don't know how useful a group of adventurers would be at government red tape, expeditionary make fasterness. I'm not sure how that's gonna work.
By my check, the issue was he needed permission from Atria, not permission from here.
No, he needs permission from the Grand Duke, or the Grand Duchess.
Oh.
Here.
Because tensions between Atria and here is very sour.
If it's paperwork and stuff, I can deal with that.
Because it's basically a thing of the Grand Duchess needs to give it the okay because of where he is in sort of the education system. He's not just a teacher, because he is like the head of theology for the entire country. Him going to Atria is like a level of, you are going to be seen as an ambassador. I also need to make sure that you are there with protection, and like it's a bit.
We're protection.
If we need to go ahead and do that, there's volunteers. If it's paperwork and stuff for dealing with mercenary contracts, it's kind of just that's what his life is in general. So
you're gonna stop Flap and ask him if there's anything you can do to help.
Yes, Darius turns back around. She goes back in there.
Cool.
Valmir would have stayed with the Minotaurs if they were doing more like note taking.
Oh, they're more than happy to keep you around and talk to you.
Darius avoids them.
Cool.
Specifically, goes to the halfling.
Cool.
So yeah, if he needs anything done, Darius has his good quill.
Well, I'm gonna head over probably I've sent my secretary to go get me an audience, and it'll probably be first thing in the morning. So if you want to meet me at the palace, you can do that.
No, I would definitely like to do that. Can you leave specific turn-by-turn instructions on a piece of paper on how to do that? How to get there from...
Sure thing. You want to go from here.
Write it down. Write it. Stop. Don't write it down.
Quick question: are you okay with height? Because the fastest way is by the cable car.
I essentially live in a skyship.
Alrighty, dude.
Yep, and
Don't
I'm
say I
sure
didn't warn you.
everyone else in my party is fine with heights,
Of course, man.
including the individual I might force to come with me. So,
Alrighty then.
yes.
Okay.
So how many reams of paper and directions am I given from this?
One page. It's like
Okay, good.
it's a lot of just like this road right 100 yards, this road left. Like very
Yes.
concise, good information.
Yes. Good. Very good. Yeah. Then I leave and never look back at this structure. It feels like we've been in here for 2 weeks. It's only been like an hour.
It's been like the majority of a day now. Like it is now.
Well, for the rest
Sun
of
is
the
setting over the top of the wall now. You can see over the city wall.
Yeah.
Right, and
catch
Soul
up.
biding more time. Is this a place that Soul feels like, oh, well, this is another country. Let's go see what kind of food they have.
Yep. Nom 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 nom.
Sure. There's like
While we're doing
a
that-
variety of restaurants on campus if you want to stay at the university. If not, there's plenty of food locations in the city. Speaking of, as a majority thing, just as a note here, majority language is definitely not common. So it's better to be able to speak Gnome, Halfling, or Elven. Or Sylvan. That or you need to go find essentially an
Great,
Irish bar.
We don't speak any of those. Great.
Okay.
There goes my plans up in the water. Never
You can
mind.
take the vampire. He speaks things. I mean, totally not a vampire. No.
There's a couple of people in the party that speak Elvish.
Yes, there are. So what I'm saying is, when
Yeah.
you're splitting off your groups, you might want to be mindful of that.
Soul, do you have a moment? I think you muted yourself.
I did not. Yes.
I was, wondering if you'd be interested in helping me gather some foods for a sort of banquet on the ship. I think after that kind of morale-shaking event where the sky was literally ripped open in front of our eyes, needs a little bit of balancing, and good food and music and drink and company. I think we'll do that. for
Lots of
us and
red
our
meat,
people.
very rare.
So
That's actually not a terrible idea. That's good what I've heard from you. You're new.
Come with some
so am I.
rarity.
No, I was actually thinking something similar. I don't want to presume, but when is Breton's birthday?
Sorry, this is a question that I've had to ask myself a bunch of times, and I'm always inconsistent with the number in my head, so I don't want to hear. It's
Or any party member's birthday, really, but Breton's the first one that comes to mind.
I believe we can add those to the calendar on the game.
yeah. Also,
by
I'd
the way.
have to check the actual the in-universe calendar because that would be of significance.
I don't have a birthday. I have an adoption by the party day.
When is
Do you
that?
know which is?
Not a year from now, or not anytime soon.
No. An adoption from the party, so in a year we'll just get Zedaar like a new collar, like every other adopted pet.
For ease of remembering, Valmera's is the 21st of Gold Grace.
Oh god, it's the
That's funny because
special calendar.
Yeah, Breton was. I was gonna say his was the 15th of Golden Grace. You know, here if you get enough people in a room, the odds of everybody sharing a birthday.
Apparently Ruby's birthday was only 2 weeks ago.
But Soul's was when you were
Which was about 2 weeks ago as well. Let's go.
Excuse me for one moment.
Yeah. How do we add?
I think there's add log entry.
Oh, actually, by
Clicking on that does nothing for me.
Okay.
Darius's birthday is like his
If you
next
guys
week.
write them all down on Discord, I'll input them.
I remember now.
Calendar and pick one.
I made him so he was conceived in the Festival of Blossoms. So it's almost exactly 8
My
months.
wife got me a Valentine's Day cookie. It's
That's
really
cute.
big.
That's really cute. And now I want a cookie. Yep.
Where'd you want that on Discord? Just in our personal character sections, or?
I just put Elendor Live General.
Yeah.
No,
I'm gonna put it in character.
Ruby's birthday is the 4th of Amber Seed.
Oh, we're both Amberseed kids.
Is this happening to follow a calendar that January and February are actually the additional 2 months, and the year is supposed to end on the 10th month? Kind of like that? Is like that how it's laid out? Winter Dawn and Last Light? Would that be...
So there's 13 months.
Yeah.
Each with 30 days. So essentially, in how the current calendar works, it's like all the extra days on on the months are 1 month. And this is like
This is a 13-month calendar year.
yeah.
Yes.
Also
Blows my mind.
because the turning of this world is slightly slower, so it's about 400 days a year, I think, in the year.
We have apparently 3 moons.
Yeah. it's 3 moons.
So you said
Darius, what day
everyone
were
had
you?
30 days, Midge, but the first month and the last month both has 35.
Yes, that's it.
10-day celebration for the new year.
What I need is a holiday, a birthday, or something.
I mean, Darius is next week, apparently.
22nd of this month, because it's exactly 8
Done.
months away.
We could do that. All right. So she goes, James.
You would not, in the slightest chance of hell, know that his birthday was then, unless you interrogated Claudia.
We've got Ghoultide in 2 weeks, guys.
Ghoultide is in 2 weeks.
No. That's 100% something Claudia would do. So hey, my brother's birthday is coming up at on next Sunday. That is 100% blackmail she would use on you.
Yes.
Zep, when is your birthday? Just so I can write them all down.
I'm trying to work this out. When would the 9th of January-ish be?
That'd just be the 9th of Deep Frost then?
So yeah,
9th of
January,
Deep Frost.
January and December in this world have 35 days instead of.
Yeah, 9th of Deep Frost.
The point I was aiming at is there is a Ghoultide coming up, along with Darius's birthday. Information I received from Claudia.
23rd of the same, Velmir, for James.
Deep Frost?
I was thinking we could do a combined theme party. Don't let him know.
A Hallows festival for a birthday celebration?
Why not both?
I mean, well, I don't imagine.
Look, we don't have
Darius
we don't have a big budget right now.
We have several thousand gold pieces.
And several thousand people to feed.
If you are going to procure anything, I imagine. And Breton just kind of gestures around to the city they're currently in. It may not be the trade capital of the world, but you'd be hard pressed to know that being here.
Okay, so Ruby, this cookie is really good. Is going to procure.
Where did you get a cookie?
No one came up and gave it to her. It was strange.
Just a random cart selling cookies.
Cookies, yes. Sol is going to procure a ship's worth of party supplies for decorations, for feasting for a specific day, probably on Ghoultide, and it is going to be a combination of Darius's birthday and holiday because it's just easier to do it all at once.
Okay.
Is Ghoultide the equivalent of Halloween?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay. So you're celebrating somebody who isn't born on Halloween, their birthday on Halloween as well.
Very.
Tell me you have never seen that before.
Well, I have, but my father was born on Halloween, so it's kind of
There you go.
So it kind of does that. But
What date did we adopt Zedaar?
Very
I'm just writing.
like most pets, we've forgotten, so we just kind
Yeah, it's a gotcha day. You can just give me like the first of last month. That's what I do with all my animals. I just give them the first of whatever month I got them in.
What?
Long Harvest.
Well,
Didn't we do something on Long Harvest?
It was before the king was attempted to be assassinated.
Which is when?
Sure, we got
Was it before the Day of the Ascension or not?
All right, guys.
You got a
Why don't we cover this
newspaper
after
article.
session?
Yeah, no.
It's a lot of table talk. Let's cover it after session.
Alright.
Uh-huh.
Either way. Yeah, so I don't know how much that would cost TM. But it's a feast, a hero's feast, if you would.
Are you looking to do the spell Heroes Feast?
I can't cast it.
Okay, then.
But if I could get a scroll of it.
Okay. Well, Heroes Feast has a monetary component.
Yes, I could pay that. But, well, a scroll provides the components.
No, it
Yes.
does not.
Yes, it does.
Does it?
The crafting of the scroll, you have to consume the components to create the scroll.
Oh, that's
Yes.
true. You're correct.
Yes.
No, you are right.
But that
Is
is typically
it- is
factored
it-
into the cost of the scroll.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, are you just like putting it all into the piece of paper?
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus decorations. You know, there's going to be like little ghoul lights and ghosty costumes and stuff like that.
If you'd like, Mitch, I can tell you the exact formula and the cost of what it would take for this. And I believe it's
1,000 gold.
2,600 gold pieces.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. About that. I was just doing the head math then. I was just like, it's about 2,600.
That would stretch us pretty thin.
I've got it. It's just
Sorry.
that's.
I'll drop.
Sorry, I'm doing my math wrong because
499.
it's 6 times 6 squared plus 2,000. So it'd be 2,360.
Would
Well, Soul's got 700 platinum honor.
Jesus.
I don't have anything spent on.
can
I have never bought anything in this game outside of some occasional jewelry for Soul.
Can we negotiate any of these prices down, or because it's for a spell casting that has a set price?
It depends if you can find the spell scroll. But,
Yeah,
like, none of you have actually started looking yet.
Okay.
Well, no, but I'm just.
I remember the effort it took us to get the Find Familiar scroll, one of the most common scrolls in the game.
Yep.
My suggestion, if we're going to find a scroll of this, we might want to search at a temple before we go anywhere.
To a temple
why
we shall
don't
go.
we go to the Hall of Arcanum and see if anybody is versed well enough in the arts to
It's a
help us
clerical
out?
spell, I think. Clerical druid.
It is. It is of the divine pathology.
What Breton said.
Well, then we're already in the Hall of Theology. Let us see if we can find someone of the more divine casting sense.
Knock on Appleshield's door. You know everything about the religion, right? Do you happen to know where the religious
Oh, you had more questions too.
Well, I mean, I can't say that I'm upset by not seeing it. He's to expand upon what you already said. Most like scrolls and stuff, the university would provide, the academy would provide, would be from like the academy store in the Hall of Arcanum. Like Hall of Arcanum is magic. Like this is theology, as in like the study of theology sort of department, not necessarily like clerical spell training. Like the Academy of Arcana is the one that is like mage teaching school.
The general consensus says search the Hall of Arcana. Okay.
Yeah.
A gem at crystal ball worth 1,000 gold.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we have any?
Gem encrusted bowls worth 1,000 gold.
Oh, gem encrusted bowl.
I mean, I can go steal a gem encrusted bowl worth 1,000 gold.
No.
Yes, you
You
can.
tried stealing the ring of a theologian. That was it.
I didn't try to steal it. I specifically didn't try to steal it.
I just sold it to the garage.
You
I
thought
need to
about
declare
it.
this before we leave.
Yeah, what about that bowl that's holding potpourri in the center of the Magister's room or some shit? Yeah, sure.
Let's not do that. Yeah, Soul's gonna go try to find a person who has the spell.
Give me an investigation check at disadvantage unless someone is going with you that can speak one of those four languages. It'll be at disadvantage. Okay, so just a standard investigation check. We'll go from there.
That is a 12 plus 2. 14.
You know what? Zep, give me a d20 luck roll.
Okay, it is a 15.
Well, you go to the kind of in the eventually you're shown to the academy store, which has there's like racks of like various components, all sorts, and eventually there is like a book counter where they are selling spell scrolls, and you are lucky enough to find a scroll of Heroes Feast for 2,400.
I'll give 400.
Well, hold up. Let me.
Over
How
just for this venture.
So, well, here's the issue over the table: is there are specific effects from the spell of Heroes Feast that only last 24 hours. So it's one of those things you want to use like when you're about to do something big. It's not just a feast for everybody to enjoy. I mean, it is, but that's not the purpose of it. So, alternatively, how much would it cost to buy a feast? Not the spell Heroes Feast, but a Heroes Feast for the ship, including party decorations and that kind of thing.
How much are you looking to spend per person, essentially?
Let's say I'll go 100 gold a person.
Jesus.
Not the ship. I'm sorry. Not the ship. I'm sorry. Per person.
Okay. Do you want to do it because there's there's different classes of expert on the ship.
Let's just call it 1,500 gold limit.
So.
Well, what's it like to live rich for a day? Isn't that like 15 gold for the day?
For what?
How much does it cost to feed a person on the ship a day?
You have that breakdown.
Yeah.
You have that breakdown.
We do have that breakdown.
We do have that breakdown. And then upgrade it to a lavish meal for every person on the ship for one day.
Yeah, that's what I was basically thinking. Like, let's give everybody a nice upgraded meal. Let's get them hearty for this last leg of the journey. I mean, let's get their feet back under them, kind of thing.
I think you're looking at like.
The answer to that is actually it's apparently only 5 silver pieces a day for a wealthy meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's in the notes.
All right.
About half a day's work for a normal like job or like a skilled laborer. Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Then we'll do 5 silver per crew member for food. An additional 5 silver or additional.
Is that including party members?
No, party members are getting Ruby's specific cooking.
Well, then you just hit your 1,500 limit.
Cool.
Sometimes I forget how many people we have hired to man this ship.
I didn't think it was that many people on the ship.
You got
like 700.
Is what?
It was like 700 or something ridiculous, wasn't it?
It's 79.
No, that's how many you paid for originally, and then the Iron Duke got you there was a reward that got you a bigger compliment, right? You're now up to about 300 individuals on your ship.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's 150 gold pieces to start with.
Yeah, sorry, there's 1,500 silver, so 150 gold. 150 gold, yeah.
Yeah. So 1,500 gold is my limit.
Oh yeah. I got my calculator confused. That's what that was.
The decimal point was off of 1.
Yeah.
I think 500 gold pieces, and you're getting whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, no, I'll drop the 200 gold, and we'll get a huge feast, decorations, everything.
Okay. Good thing.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Buffet. There's a buffet table.
You could have it catered for that, like.
That's basically what I'm. It's basically like throwing on a noble's ball almost for non-nobles.
Yeah. You can do that with that amount for sure.
But also music.
Yeah.
Decor.
Yeah, whole nine.
Yeah,
yep.
we're going in.
Yeah, that's what that will be. 500 gold. You're good.
I want the premier, but I want the premier Banum Dum DJ.
The problem is, are you gonna be?
Boom, 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 boom.
The problem is, we're only staying here for like a day or two, so you're gonna be hiring on somebody to travel with us, and we're just gonna not question why you paid a bard to join us on the ship.
Well, that's my next question, guys. Are you like so? How long are you looking to stay? Because that will associate some roles in terms of what happens, for example, with your trader, that kind of thing. Like, what is your...
I thought we agreed that we were going to stay and wait for Flap Appleshoot and try and progress that bureaucratic paperwork through quicker. And during that time, we could throw this, like, festival. Skyship Festival.
So how long will that take with Darius helping him through? Does that help get through the bureaucracy, or
we'll
hurt
see.
it?
We'll see. Okay. Because you're gonna have to meet the Grand Duchess.
Yeah, no.
So we'll get to that. This is
Darius is a minor noble. You can deal with this.
Fine. I'm just trying to get into sort of the gauging what everyone's aiming for.
I think we're here at least 2 days.
Okay,
minimum.
because you've got people that are trying that are inquiring because they need to know so they can work out deals and set up meetings and try to sell off loads and loads of luxury furniture that you bought.
Can we just say like a week? We'll just stay here a week, just in general, to give everybody enough time.
Would that be too long though?
Well, it could be, but it also would help the trader out, and we have been kind of just that would be a nice passive income.
He's gotten screwed.
We have spent a lot of our money. We really need to like get a little bit more juice in the
Everything's
tank
locked up in assets right now.
Yeah, so we need some liquid capital to kind of so we can help us in the future. So maybe a week would be good.
Put it this way: each day that goes by where they are in port and able to take a full day, they get another roll on their trader chart. Is how it works mechanically.
So why don't we just throw on like a little mini festival here, and it'll be the Benumdum Sack Festival.
What?
Yeah, Skyfire Adventuring Company, Sack. The Benumdum Sack Festival.
Sack. Don't.
Sack Festival.
Not tracking that at all.
Okay.
Everyone loved the name. Great job.
Okay. Cool. Speaking of that roll, Zep, can you give me a D100 roll, please?
Okay.
We're attacked by dragons.
No, for visibility, this is the trainer roll.
Oh.
It's like
how do you do dice again?
/die D100.
That's not ominous at all.
It's super aggressive.
That is a 52.
Die 52 deaths.
I will flash of genius this.
Sadly, you can't because it's a results table.
You can use your inspiration.
Nah, 52 is good. It's above half.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I do have a question. You told me how much enchanting material is here. Is there any adamantium, or is this the wrong type of place for that?
You can ask around.
I will ask around with two things in mind. Can I get it here, and would I be more likely to find it in Atria?
Okay. Let me get my enchanting guide up.
Because my idea here is I want to upgrade Braun's armor. I can either do that by literally upgrading his armor, or I can get better materials, then I can basically upgrade that further in the future.
Meteorite.
And then the C3PO treatment. It's just like, let's gold plate you.
I think it's the underlay of like a T2. That's what is working up to.
Took me a second.
I mean, mithril is probably more likely to allow you to blend and mix and go through stuff, but yeah.
Then that would
Mithril's
be the
good for enchanting as
T1000, I
well.
would say. Like a
Yeah, okay.
liquidate, like
To be fair, I
He
think
has the right accent for it too.
I think simmer bronze would be better. Okay.
Yeah, you have a lot more materials than I do. Basically, I just want something which makes brawn
Yeah. Oh, do
better.
you need an updated version of the?
Yeah, I've only got adamantium and mithril.
This shit's like 14 pages. Like there's like five pages on metal alone in this now. Hold on.
Okay.
Sometimes-
Yeah, I've got 3
sometimes-
pages total.
Unlike theology books, first editions not as good as later editions.
So yeah, send me that and then I'll have a read through. So
yeah,
that's what I had in mind.
okay, but give me an investigation check.
I wonder how bad it would break.
Also, Med, just to check, how much did I spend?
Oh, horribly.
Just to re-verify.
You said 500 gold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this investigation or artificial law? Because I'm looking specifically for materials.
I'll allow you to do artificial
Of which
law.
I only spent 300 because James bought 200 worth of it.
Yeah. Unless you want to go full halvesies.
I mean, I've got the money. You don't, so.
24. You can get some adamantium here because what you find out is adamantium is it comes mainly from meteorites, so it's not from here. And essentially, someone found a meteor pool recently, so there is actually some in the town. Whether it's enough to fully plate brawn, that's a different story, because that will come down to your refining process. Because it hasn't been refined. It's a lot of adamantium ore at the moment.
Should be cheaper then.
It's cheaper, but it's rare non-Elendor metal. Like,
It's Zep. I mean, it's Zep though, so you can knock that out and get a smelting operation going on the ship less than a day.
I could even make some fancy alloy out of it if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Well, there are alloys. There's like dark steel as an alloy.
Oh, you sent it. Cool. Let me have a look through this. Go and do some.
Sure,
else and
no worries.
I'll come back to you.
I'll let you toy around with enchanting shit. There's also you
You
can
have
see
no idea what you've unleashed.
You can see all the timber and stuff as well that I've been using now. I'm currently in the geological section, so I'm I'm working through this guide slowly. Where was I? Okay, so yes, parting materials is fine. Okay, that's good. 52 is fine. That's 2% above profit. Cool. Is there anything anyone else wants to do before we skip to the next day and go for the meeting with royalty?
I'm just painting the ship, and I
Sure.
think we're at like 25% completion, right?
Get that kid that really wants to prove himself. Like, get him leading like a team, because he got like 10% by himself while we were flying.
Yeah, by spending all day doing.
Yeah.
Well, so Raj is gonna start noticing party stuff getting put on board.
I've never seen a party. I have no idea what that means.
Oh no.
In real life or Zaraj?
No.
Siraj has never seen a party. Why would Siraj?
Okay. Well, then there's gonna be lots of weird-looking stuff brought on the ship. Look like sheets of ghosts and like fake blood.
I want like a section for dancing set up too. Like it's gonna be a full-on party.
It's gonna be
Outdoor
full-on.
ballroom kind of like shindig.
Super scary skeletons.
Can I preempt this question, because I just had a thought that popped into my head that is just gonna make this all go hog wild. What are the odds we accidentally plan this for the night of the full moon? Let's make a point of doing the opposite of that. Let's make sure this does not happen on the full moon. Let's not get the Fae involved in this.
But the Fae love
Let's
a
avoid
good
that being a problem. Exactly. Let's not make this a thing that they bargain for on the regular.
You could just give them a vat of milk. They'll chill.
Milk mafia.
Darius wouldn't though. This is like partially his party as well. That would be the worst fucking thing for him. He already hates the Fae realm so much.
That's like a clown showing up at a kid's party who hates clowns.
Yeah, except the kid is like versed in like melee combat. has a long sword.
So, as a note, do you remember which moon it was that you were going for the full moon?
Red one.
Green moon.
Green one.
Was it the green one?
That was the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a notable point of, oops, I got that wrong 3 times. So I think that's more of a question for Midge. It was the next full moon.
Okay. So the next full moon from now is a red full moon, which is on the 22nd, and there's a green and red full moon on the 23rd.
Darius's exact birthday is the red moon.
Great. So, yep, it's gonna happen on the night of the red moon. Good to know.
That's a week from now. So if you have your party before then, you're fine.
How long do you think it takes to plan a party?
We're doing this in a couple days.
Sure. Okay.
Gotta sneak in under the radar.
It's gonna be a midweek kind of.
As all the best parties are.
Shindig, yeah.
All the best parties are definitely on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go in.
Or a Monday morning.
The week refreshed.
Get it? Because Component Cast is for a great party.
Yes. I caught it, Jim. It's okay. All right.
I got it.
I wanted to clarify that.
So the next red full moon, I changed. Is that the full moon on the 21st? Sorry, the red full moon stays full moon for a while. Holy shit. So 21st, sorry, would be the first one.
And we're gonna find out that the Fae are gonna be waiting.
Yeah, the icons don't ever like fully like fill in color. So it's hard to tell which one's which. Yeah, I think it's 21st.
You telling me you haven't worked out the orbital mechanics of 3 celestial bodies in relation to a primary, like, intricately?
I don't like space shit, you know me.
We'll call up Neil deGrasse Tyson. He'll figure it out for you.
Simple stuff.
Right. So yes, 21st, which is 5 days from now.
Oh, exactly. Great.
And asking again about the paint, 25%, because I'm jotting that down.
Give me a. Are you doing it, or are you letting the ship do it?
Me and the ship's crew.
Give me a dex check.
I'll lend you my wings of flying, or the
Thank you.
winged boots.
Give them at advantage
18.
then.
Okay. 21.
You're about 30% done now.
Woo!
Solid work was being done all the day whilst you guys were studying as well, so.
A couple 100 pounds off of the weight limit of the ship. Just
Yeah, well, it's basically they're in dock now, so it's easier to get rigging. Like they're in an actual skyship dock, like they're not just landed in a field somewhere.
I think that would make it harder, wouldn't it? Because you'd be still in the air, whatever.
You're in the air, yes, but like mechanically speaking, you can get under it easier and stuff, and yeah, you don't have to build a scaffolding. You can do it with ropes and pulleys and like a plank between 2 ropes, kind of up and down like an old window cleaner. Cool. Okay then.
Before the end of the day, Darius is going to just ask the party. So I'm going to go visit the Grand Duchess for bureaucratic reasons. Does anyone want to come with? You would have to dress up. It is a member of major royalty. Nope.
Do you need someone to come along with you?
I'm offering. Like don't need to, but if for some reason our lives were like a episodic show or something like that, it would help to have interplay between 2 individuals in the cast than 1. That's just me.
During this conversation, there is going to be an awkward moment where Breton is going to look to Soul and get an expression on his face like he expects her to ask him. He expects that she's going to ask him to do something he does not want to do.
Soul is working in the kitchen getting the party ready.
That he is going to take that as satisfaction. He does not have to do this. He doesn't have to keep Darius busy, so he doesn't realize what's going on. Good.
I'll join you, Darius. You make a fine friend.
Okay. All right. New guy.
Bonding time.
Yeah. Yeah. And can I also wrangle Claudia? Because she needs to train her elocution and her courtly stuff training. So, if I can find her.
You can.
Great.
I guess while searching for food and whatnot, would I have been able to get some finer clothing? Since mine are...
You get a costume.
And you dressed up as like a vampire noble.
Vampire.
Do you already have a 3-piece suit with a cape?
Whoa.
High collar.
Yes, but it's
Bela Lugosi over here.
A red bib to
There
hide
are
village.
definitely formal tailors in this town where you could have gotten classier clothing.
Absolutely. I would.
But it's all
probably
size
use-
for gnomes.
Book price plus or there's a lot of elves here as well.
Oh yes, I would definitely try and go with probably more towards an elven tailor then, because that'd be the aesthetic.
I mean,
natural aesthetic.
Oh,
The
I mean
High
there
Duchess.
are like yeah.
I hope the Grand Duchess can speak Elvish, because I don't know Gnomish. Or
also, like, if you know any of the humble folk languages, they tend to go well around here as well.
Nope. So Darius is bare basic. He knows things for negotiating contracts and primary clients, and a few other languages because some of his family members are part of that. There's a couple of half orcs and a couple of half elves in his family, and that's about it. So
yeah, fair. Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, so book price on fancy clothes plus 5 gold.
Okay.
Put on my good cloak, signet ring, and like all the
Okay.
the finery. Just
Same
the first
here.
time I think anybody's seen the signet ring actually. I don't.
Okay.
2 dapper individuals heading out to uptalk the Grand Duchess.
Oh no, you're definitely dressed way better than Darius. Like Darius.
Darius is like he puts a nice cloak onto his armor kind of thing.
Yeah, I have one set of clothing, or well, I have multiple, but they all look the same.
Wow. Hang on. So 6 characters and all your birthdays are in 3 months out of my 13-month
Yes.
calendar.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Brilliant. Okay, so the next morning, unless there's anything else anyone wants to do,
during that festival of blooms or blossoms.
you guys head to the palace. Lovely. And the palace here is interesting because it's like it's got similarities to like a dwarven hold because it's built into like the wall. It's like a keep that juts attached to like the outer wall of the city. That also builds up part of the cityscape. You know how I said like there's buildings in the wall and on the wall, and it's like there's a ton of elevation using this gigantic wall. The palace is also built onto it, and it's got like a sort of very cuboid in shape, which is odd because with the outer wall being so much looking like a gear, it kind of like juts out, and it's got very flat pyramidy kind of gardens leading up to it. Almost like tiers of gardens in like steep like steps with water features like rivers running down the corners, and you kind of go up this sort of bridge like staircase towards the main gate where you see Flap is there in his kind of more finer clothes, and he meets you outside. It's like, oh, well, there you are. Good morning to you. Are you guys ready to come on in?
Yes, I suppose they
Believe we're as ready as ever.
Yep.
Alrighty then. The correct terminology for the Duchess is your grandness.
Seems a little ostentatious.
And other than that, let's get it going.
Right. just double check. So we all speak some language that is common in this. That like James, you also speak Elvish. Do you speak anything other than Elvish that is useful here?
No, I
Or-
don't speak Elvish. I speak one of the humble folk languages,
Okay.
like Flap here.
Nope.
Flap's a
No
halfling.
contact. Right. Okay. All right. Just double checking. We had maybe some cross. we could expand it out, but right.
Well, you have
Actually-
Elvish, right?
Yeah, I have Elvish. Actually,
I have halfling.
what does Claudius know? 'Cause,
Let me check.
maybe she could also help. We need to form a response. We use 3 people talking. Just kind of like form something. That's probably not a lot.
I'm just getting this individual's.
Greatness, not grace, not grandness, greatness. It's
Grandness.
grandness or greatness?
Grandness.
Grandness. Okay.
The Claudia speaks Common, Elvish,
Yep, I assumed. Okay.
Halfling,
Ooh, that was been a bit much. That would have been very useful if we knew that.
Undercommon,
I'll ask later.
Draconic,
Makes sense.
Shelts, Fionian, Old Albay,
My God.
and Orcish.
She has a. How high of an intelligence score does she have? Didn't know that many.
Over 9,000.
She has a 7. She's a mastermind rogue.
Oh wow.
So,
I thought I was fancy for knowing Fionian.
so she has an intelligence of 18.
My God. Okay.
Your sister's smart.
Yeah.
High dex, high in.
fine.
That's her shtick.
Yep. Nope. That's totally fine. Definitely gonna be using her as a translator in the future. Also gonna be asking her what she knows undercommon.
She's also currently trying to learn Sylvan.
She's just one of those people that just like learns a language for fun, right? She just gets a book and she just like, yep.
I wish I
Is an owl familiar called Duolingo?
So annoying. So annoying.
Who breaks people's knees if she gets it wrong.
Yeah, no. Oh god.
Have you guys
That's really what happened to
seen that
Gourd.
Reddit that Twitter? I think it was a Twitter post or a Reddit thing. It was just like
Yeah.
the Duolingo, you're behind on your studies, and then the intruder thing, and the back door. That's like one of my favorite internet images ever. Either way, yes, but she's there, and you go. Okay, so you go on in. And you're led through these. They're not like ostentatious halls. They're kind of neutral. Like, it's fancy. It's like of a nice stone and really nice timber work, but it's not like gilded and magnificent in any way. It's kind of like
subdued.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
got like a-
subdued wealth to it, like very
Yes.
well carved wood and stuff.
Yeah, it's almost like also like the wealth seems to be, whilst this is like has an element of grandeur in terms of, because this individual has to meet what's it called, meet various dignitaries, etc. Yeah, and expectations, but it seems like a lot of their wealth goes elsewhere.
That's- Context does because just knowing Darius's background, is Darius's father's like compound better, like more ostentatious than this in terms of how,
Your
like, levels?
This is like more palatial than that, but yours is like lined with trophies and heirlooms and stolen battle standards and this, whereas this is like there is barely anything furniture wise here.
Alright.
Like this is like an official meeting hall kind of thing, and you kind of get the impression that like the actual like stately rooms probably are just like a small subsection of this place, where it's like more like they live in a cottage attached to it kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
You wouldn't say that this is someone's home. This is more like official residence.
Awesome. So that there's a positive opinion of this monarch then.
Okay.
We just follow.
Yeah, you are led on in. You actually, this is the first time you would have seen them as well. The guard in this sort of area, like, don't seem to be wearing plate or armor. They kind of got like thick coats, and like they've got saber like scabbards and like a big white what's it called, like elt like across their chest, like sort of, and with an emblem in the center and big great coat. There's not some of them have like a breastplate, but and then the rest of them have like but they all have like a cap, kind of musketeer like. So it's more like uniformed, but not like they're in like plate mail. They're not like knights. It's more like the guards seem to be more like, you know, that kind of thing. So a lot of them seem to be gnomes.
Okay. So more showy guards than actual
household cavalry kind of look.
Okay.
Early, like 1600s sort of cavalry style.
Okay. Click that. Yeah. And are we led to a waiting room, or are we just brought right in?
You are essentially, most of the waiting happened in that sort of outer area outside, and then eventually some large doors are opened, and there is a throne in front of you, but again, still got that sort of plain marble wooden features. Like there's a fair amount of like wood elf kind of architecture, and so like arches for the ceiling, like arch, are like spiraling carved wood, but there's no like gilding to it. It's all kind of just a dude. And ahead of you is a gnome sat on a throne. They have like a long red hair with like little bits of gray showing around like the temple. And yes, there's a older-ish looking gnome woman.
Okay. Standard. If we're let in and just kind of in front, standard noble greeting, just a deep bow. Forward. Make sure Claudia also does her curtsy.
She does so.
She's expected of. And I'll wait for the person we're supposed to be helping with this to make their case, and we'll step in if we need to, depending on what language they start speaking. I'll have Claudia just start translating it directly to me. So.
It's actually the Grand Duchess that speaks first. Looks and goes. Now, Professor Flap, who have you brought in here to see me? Well, madam, it's I bring some out-of-towners who come to request my services. And then she switches. Where are my manners? My name is Grand Duchess Vanessa Winteroak. I'm pleased that you've sought refuge in the academia of our fine nation. Please, who might you be?
Created an area that is made to annoy me as much as possible. This is payback for the swamp elves.
This is also part written by Mikey, so it's not just me to blame. She spoke in common, by the way, to you.
Oh, okay, cool. That makes this a hell of a lot easier. Replying in common, just say, Your Grandness, I'm Darius Renard of the Renard Company, currently serving with the Skyfire Adventuring Company, accompanied by probationary member Jane. What is your full name?
Your Grandness, my name is James Augustine Willoughby.
Yes. And very probationary member Claudia Renard Company, temporary working for, etc., etc.
And y'all are here on academia.
In part, Your Grandness.
Sense we are seekers of knowledge and information for specific things.
Current world events, to be
exactly, yes,
more clear.
Well, you'll have to forgive my accent. I learned my common from the half folk, but by that I wonder. I'm gonna come right out and say it. Are you exploring the possible dragon sightings?
We've had a great amount of experience, Your Grandness, with the recent dragon sightings, having been at them, at least a few, personally. Our current mission, our task that we have for ourselves does relate to this, yes.
And you want to go to Atria why? For more information?
The wealth of cultural and historical knowledge that is inside of that country that may lead to various leads as to the current activity.
And as far as you're aware right now, they're not connected to the dragon attacks?
To our knowledge, no. It does not appear like Atria has anything to do with these dragons that are showing up.
Well, nice to see that you're being honest with me. Most people who come in here requesting my help, not very forthcoming. And, that tends to get me, all caught up in a twirl. Here's what I'll do for you. Professor here has a couple of lectures to deal with tomorrow. Doing some private classes for some of my kin. They'll be free. And I'm sabbatical with you for 3 weeks. As of tomorrow. However, as his status will deem, he will be required to take with him a couple of my guard to accompany him. I completely understand that you yourselves are, according to the logs, an adventuring company, and as you've said, you've got a very mercenarial background, but it won't go over well with the Atrian government if I send one official alone with external support. So I need to detach at least 2 others. Is that fine by you? If not, they can make their own way there.
I don't see any issue with
Those are agreeable terms.
As the individual of Skyfire Adventuring Company that takes personal care of the security of the ship, if I could possibly receive maybe a dossier on these two, or to just
Dink it!
double check.
From a door behind the there's a,
No idea how a sympathetic accent wants to punch through here so much.
A door opens and a short, like a Guy Fawkes bearded gnome enters, cavalier hat, like graying beard though, like a deep green like overcoat, white gloves, saber at one side. Comes in. Colonel, I need you to pick one other man, and you're going to be joining these fine adventurers on a mission, protecting one of our own on a small rendezvous in Atria, if that's okay by you. Well, ma'am.
I was gonna say, if he has a fucking southern accent with that description, you're gonna lose it. Southern Carolina, Guy Fawkes. It's just like...
It's just got that curly. How else would you describe like the curly mustache but long beard?
No, totally, I get it. Like that is a proper description, but it's a mental image.
Well, ma'am.
I would say a Lieutenant Armstrong.
Well, ma'am, I will be most honored to be your representative and the protector of this here professor. Puts out his hand as he walks over to you as well as you two, and Claudia. Pleasure to meet you, Colonel Willoughby Dinkett, 7th Badgery.
This is out of character. That was not in character. Did you just say badgery? Or was that it?
Badgery.
So, I feel like inquiring minds want to know, when you say badgery,
exactly what we think
do
it is.
you mean badgery as in this is an official badged member of the state? Or do you mean badgery like these guys run around on giant badgers?
The last one.
Okay, that's where I thought it was going, but I wanted to give you a chance to clarify.
Yeah.
So Darius shakes his hand. Can I gauge the character of this person? You know, standard like.
I mean, if you want to, if you want to look at him for a minute, I can give you more details. But
no, through a handshake. You know,
it's kind of. It's got a very formal. This person is military through and through. But so you can see already, there's like a long scar on his face, kind of thing. This is a veteran through and through, and just like he's here doing a duty. He's pleased. He's pleased to meet you. There's no like suspicion of him. He's like, I'm here. I'm doing my job.
Okay.
Are you also gonna size him up like he sizes everybody? Like, what's his fighter levels? What's his armor class?
I need another minute. Eventually, yes, I will.
I will. Me and I'll be bringing one other with me. It'll be one of my lieutenants from my unit, and we will need space for ourselves, but our mounts should fit in our rooms as well, so do not worry about that.
Are these like what race are these guys?
Gnomes.
That's why they're mounts will fit.
Full-sized elves, just riding regular-sized badgers.
Wearing badgers like slippers, yeah.
Yeah. And it's 2 to a man.
I thought I misheard when you said badger. I'm not gonna lie.
Nope, giant badgers.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay,
Called
cool.
enlarge reduce. So
Honey badgers.
They are giant honey badgers, yeah. No.
I mean, that's a pretty cool mount. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not like that's fine. Like this is I'm kicking myself that I didn't think about it for my world building already. That shouldn't be an issue.
Write that down.
We do have a whole.
Wait till you see the lever action crossbow he has.
Oh boy.
And there goes Roach.
Isn't that just a normal crossbow, but like the cranking mechanism is built into it?
Yeah, so it's yeah,
underslung.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's underslung, but it's so it's like they're rack-mounted bolts that go in, and then it cycles it out the bottom every time the lever pulls. Like so it's like it cycles it from the bottom every time the lever pulls.
God damn it, Mitch. This is gold. This is good. No, sir, that'll be fine. We do have a former stable in the hold that they can be kept in.
That sounds perfect.
It was originally intended for a 3-horn, but I'm assuming there'll be room for.
Killed me many of those in my dealings with Atria.
Don't say that to any of our crew. They have fond memories of Darcy.
No, I understand that they can be very soft beasts, and the rider is more the problem than the mount itself, anyway.
Right. Yes.
Somewhere Zedaar is sneezing and he doesn't know why.
I have. Yeah. This seems fine. I trust this man. So this works. Also, I've been observing him for a minute. So what's his fighter levels? Are they greater, equal to, or less than mine? And
what's your level?
So I have taken no other.
No, yeah. What's your
classes.
What's your 10, right?
Yeah, level 10. Yes, level 10
equal.
And equal to. Okay, cool. Sizing him up well. And what is his current armor class? Equal to, less than, or greater than mine? 22.
Less than.
Less than? Okay, cool. Yep, gotta do it.
Don't you get 3 pieces?
No, it's just 2.
I don't think.
What about health?
No, because you just have 2 that you can get.
He gets 2 topics. He can keep observing and get more.
Yeah, I can
But
keep observing, and we'll have plenty of time for that. But yeah, it's just I can get 2 at a time.
He's 10th.
10th level. Okay, cool. Yeah, no. I can shake hands, make sure that Claudia also does so. I'm trying to serve a good example. Yeah, seems like an agreeable. It seems agreeable as a plan.
Well, that's no problem then. I will rally my men and I'll be at your ship.
Sky ship.
Say sundown today?
Yes, that should be fine. We're here for several days, I believe, at this point.
I want to secure a room from me and my man and the professor here, make sure everything's all right, and then we'll be ready to go when you are.
Absolutely, and you're more than welcome to join the festivities that are going to be going on shortly.
Do you say that in a language Darius doesn't understand, or do you say that loud? Because he has no knowledge of those plans.
I'll say it. So this guy, they're a gnome, you said? I'll say it in halfling and see if he gets it.
He does.
And I'll do a little wink.
All right.
With the eye that's opposite the side that Darius is on.
Complex. I like it.
Claudia, I'm not tracking.
You know that she speaks halfling?
I believe yes. If this is a normal brother-sister relationship, she was the most annoying person at like the dinner table because she just kept bringing up languages she knew in it.
It's just complimenting his boots.
All right. I will choose to not check against my sister's truthfulness.
You wouldn't lie to me.
She definitely would.
All right. Now
she will be able to beat me in that check.
Adventurers, there is one last thing I ask of you.
Who's this talking? Is this the
Grand
the
Duchess.
monarch?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One. If a situation arises,
if there happens to be a ruckus,
you do everything in your power to make sure my people come home safe.
Of course. We are on a sky ship, so if anything goes bad enough that it would endanger your individuals, it would most likely also
in
endanger
Atria as well.
all of us.
Politically, it is a volatile place.
Yes, it should be fine.
They have a very old way of doing things in terms of their dealing with politicians.
Ominous.
The guillotine?
It's more like I'm assuming just a whole bunch of people get stabbed in the Senate chamber all the time.
Well, I bid you good day. I have more things to attend to.
I just want to point. She did use the word first or one. So was that implying that there was another thing we had to keep track
sorry,
of?
no, there was. If you get any more information about any of them there dragons, and if you hear that they're connected to Atria in any way, we're the first line of defense for that, so please do let us know.
We will freely share any information we gather that will help the security of the realm.
She nods, and she actually steps away from her throne and goes towards the back room. Some other guards let her through.
I'll bow as she leaves.
Yep.
William tips his hat as well. So, well, I best be going. I will see you sundown.
Right. I will sure to let everyone know. I will let the guards know to let you in.
Thank you. Okay. So, you are free to exit the Monarch's chambers.
Darius likes these people. Roach hates this place so much.
Right.
That's how you know I'm not metagaming, because I would avoid having this person on the ship for the next 10 sessions if I could.
Yeah, you don't like Custano.
No, I don't. It's such a bad image in my head.
Adventurers, open to all of you. Is there anything you guys want to do, or are we just like rolling through a couple of days here?
I did have a plan on gathering some materials and stuff and
Sure.
working with Zep on something.
Okay.
And this is the first time Zep's heard about it, because I'm bad about bringing these things up with people beforehand. Is there any way we can work out some way of having a small, inexpensive kind of floating like balloon, like about like the size of like maybe that, and make like say about 100 of them? Like just super simple, as basic as we can, non-magical if possible. Just
you want some helium balloons?
What's
no,
the
not even.
What's the obsession with balloons lately? You know what? That's never mind. Let's not talk about that. Let's move on.
Not even helium. Just using like
hydrogen.
Maybe.
Oh, you walk.
No,
you could just
no.
make paper.
You could do them like Chinese lanterns. You just hot air.
Yeah, like a hot air, just like.
And you just keep a string on them, and they'll stay down. They'll float.
The question is, can we work out a way of doing that very inexpensively and get a whole bunch of them? Because Darius wants to set up a mobile archery range that's dragged behind the ship for the crew members to practice their moving targets.
These are the type of things I used to make as a child, so it's just easy.
Great.
I just need some very light paper.
You could just
What color are these?
dangle ceramic vases off of kites that are dragged behind the ship.
No, I want something that's super cheap that we can just have a lot of them and then they flat pack. It's paper.
James makes a good point, though. We could do it with a kite. It'll simply fly behind the airship as we go.
And you just keep exchanging out your target. You could have it dangle at different lengths as well.
That could work as well. Though that would also
in the swing of it as well. It creates a lot of variation.
That would also mean that they could not be used stationary. because then it would have to have a particular weather condition for them to be used when they're stationary, because you would need.
I have a great solution for this.
Losing arrows.
Both.
Well, Zep is on the ship. He can make arrows in his sleep. He can just.
But Darius, I am trying to camouflage
arrows off of a sky ship out into.
Thank you, James, for being the person to point out. So you're just going to be firing live ammunition off where people might be living.
This wasn't intended to be used in the near term, but to be used when we go back to the war zone. So we're going to be over a large stretch of ocean.
Some fisherman just be like, oh, look at this big just sitting there.
Can we make an archery target on like a track that could be on the deck of the ship that would like move randomly or something?
The intention was to make it as close to what would be usable in a situation, because we're going to be my hope is that we're not going to have to use this, but they've only been trained to fire at very stationary things, and they're good at it, so they can fire on like a target on the ground and they can hit it. But if there was let's say a dragon fighting attacking us,
I believe that Pascal would be the one to do this. He has made moving things before with tread power. And if we have a similar chain-connected mechanism, we could have these targets moving constantly on the deck of the ship itself.
If we would like to do that, that's true. I'm just saying is that I was just thinking very expensive. We put them out whenever we need to, and then we can just have a training
It would
day.
simply be an addition to the training setup you already have. This is not a problem.
Training setup we already have, I think, is just a target, like in the largest room we possibly have on the ship. That's put up like every other Tuesday.
It's like dummy things on the deck.
Yeah. We have moving dummy things and things you have to jump over and swinging blades.
Yeah. I was just thinking like something floating, because that way it's just inexpensive, and it's the equivalent of like doing like actual modern day like naval, like when they have to do some like rifle training, they just float a target out like behind a ship and they just do some targeting. It's like
bringing me up to another thing I wish to discuss with you, actually, Darius. During my time here, I've been investigating getting some cannons made, as we saw on Redbury, but they are very possibly something a little bit more
smaller,
developed. But they are very expensive. I do not think that we have the resources for this, but I could still make some ballistas, so we have at least some kind of weaponry.
Why are you inquiring to me? Are you wanting me to train the people that will have to use them?
And also for the best places to put them. I am an engineer. I am not... Actually, I am a soldier as well, but you would know more about the tactics.
The first time I was on an airship was one you built.
But yeah, you would be the one certainly responsible for any training. I will make maybe 2 of these, 1 for each side.
Well, that would work. Yes. What, you would know better than I would, so I'll leave that up to you. What if they get underneath us? Wouldn't that be difficult to do? But you'll figure something out.
Then we sink down.
See? It's more than I do. 3-dimensional thinking. It's just beyond me.
Cool.
But yeah, if we can work something out like that, would be...
yeah, I'll charge Pascal with creating that. I think that's definitely something that you could do.
Yeah, you can have a go at making a range. Okay. What, if anything else, would people like to do?
I sent you a message in our channel.
Oh.
So presumably this is going to be a costume party. Should people give consideration to what costumes they're wearing? Which is more a question for Soul than anyone.
Yeah, no, it's Ghoultide, so it's Halloween, baby.
Okay.
Soul's got herself a
fancy, pretty dress too.
Well, yes, but she's gonna
enhance.
No, it's not quite the word I want to use for it. And Ghibli knows the word I want to say, but inappropriate for stream.
Yeah, not TOS, but I do know exactly what you mean.
She's gonna do a thing to the dress to make it a little more revealing, but also makeup to be haggy.
So she's gonna go, with the classic sexy hag.
The sexy witch.
A classic.
It's a sexy. It's a sexy witch costume, but she's gonna look like a hag.
Well, we know who got the brain soul for this at the very least, because this is not a soul thing. I don't feel like this is definitely Ruby.
You're gonna look like Grunhilde from Banjo-Kazooie after she takes all the beauty from the little. Yes.
Yes.
String of
Jim's
sentences.
got the reference.
Yeah.
Didn't even like words.
I know Banjo-Kazooie. I don't know the character they're referencing.
Yeah,
Grunhilde's the main bag. Her whole objective is like she's trying to kidnap, or she kidnaps like the main character's sister to drain the vitality from her to look youthful. And if you fail, that's
Comes out
the
looking
look.
like a total babe.
That's it.
So Zep, can you give me just an artificer lore check as you search for those materials?
I don't think Darius will dress up at all if he's just for the holiday.
What did you get?
Well, he knows of the holiday.
Hasn't come up yet, but I think it was a 21 or Flash of Genius at 26.
You can definitely get enough orichalcum to coat bronze plates.
How much would that cost?
It's oh god. Do you remember how many bars we said it would take to make his armor previously? Okay, full plate price.
Full plate is 750. Oh no, sorry, 1,500.
Yeah, but you're cheaper, so it halves, but then it doubles back because of the price of the item. So it's probably about that. About the price of full plate.
Oh, okay. Then yes, I will splash out for that.
But it wouldn't be enchanted, it's just very easily enchantable.
That's fine.
Cool.
Except as an enchanting table and lots
Exactly.
of enchanting materials.
Exactly. As for the all-purpose tool, so you want to turn that, instead of being an infusion, you just want the magic item?
Correct.
I'd say you put... Do you still have any mithril left over?
Yes.
Then I think if you... How much mithril do you have left over? Sorry, let me look at the...
I think it's in the party sheet. We have one 5-pound bar left.
Probably that, and it's done. Like, it would just take work time.
Okay.
And then... anything else? Oh, yeah, the cost for ballista. Probably about 400 each.
Is that retail or crafting material?
Retail crafting materials probably more like 300 each.
Perfect. I'll make 2 ballista as well.
Cool. I won't make you roll.
Tell us that it's
on that.
going to be a costume party. Zedaar wouldn't know.
Yes, Ruby would tell. There'd be announcements to the ship.
Because Zedaar is going to make a headband with human ears instead of being like a girl that wears cat ears on Halloween. I'm going to be a cat that wears, like, I'm going to be a sexy human.
There is Soul's outfit. Yes.
Does she like shave for that? Like, or paint her fur?
You don't put on fur when you...
Yeah, you just paint whiskers. So I'll just like paint human features on.
She's got a fake nose. Fake nose. Like, fake one of those fake nose.
Instead like the
Those
teeth for
glasses with
vampires.
the-
The teeth for vampires, now it's just teeth.
It's just a paper mask that just has a human face on it.
You're gonna look like ugly Sonic.
Just a generic sim face. just there. If that's
I knew Mitch was gonna get the mask out. I fucking knew it. Fucking knew it.
Don't.
As soon as someone
This
said
is the mask that Zedaar creates.
Midge, I have to ask you.
Sure.
Do you have another one of those?
Yes.
Do you have a second one? Bring it
Got like
when
4.
we meet. Yeah, bring it when
I'll
you
try to
meet.
remember.
I want a copy so I can bring it.
Oh, you want one for good?
Yeah,
I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do.
You should give it to everybody in the Tuesday crew, so we can just one day. I'll just show up one day with Midge's face on.
I'll see how many I can find.
Yeah, you can also rid them off of your continent, or well,
Yeah, that'd be
start
great.
getting them away from you.
Yeah. Cool. No, that's cool. So the party setup is on the way. Is there anything anyone wanted to do for the daytime here, or are we just gonna skip?
I informed the party that we're gonna have guests for the foreseeable 3 weeks. So it's
we can talk about what me and the Minotaurs did between sessions. I think is fine.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I take it you had more questions for them than Valmir?
Yeah, but Lambert needs to think of them.
Yeah, sure. I thought that actually might be the case. Was why I've been hesitant to jump back to you. But we can talk about that. In fact, we can even have a small session ourselves if you want, if that's a better way of doing it. Because I know you're more verbal in terms of information. Sure.
I also help Claudia with her costume, whatever she chooses to wear. I'll just help with. Darius isn't gonna wear anything.
Claudia is going to start making a costume.
Could it be one of those really creepy, like turn of the century Halloween costumes you see in pictures sometimes that are just like just all paper mache but bad?
Just the Babadook.
Yeah, stuff
No,
like
it's
that.
like no. She actually has created a costume of oh gosh, where's my Theonian page?
The Onion Knight.
No.
She asked me for my shield to have.
Culture.
Ooh, better idea for Soul's costume.
James is going to be the
She's
scariest
created.
thing he can think of.
She's creating a
Garth.
costume of the Yellow Yeoman.
Oh, do I have any context of what that is? Just a character? Because I don't.
You might do.
I help when I can.
Yeah,
Or if
the
I
Yellow
can.
Yeoman is like a local legend in like the Theonian borderlands of like a noble bandit who like distributes food and arms to the poor.
Oh, yeah, definitely didn't want to wear that while we were home.
Soul's costume. She's going to undo her braid.
Oh.
Dye her hair red.
Oh.
She's gonna dress
You're
as
gonna dress up
Ruby.
as a dead
Come
party.
out as Ruby.
You're gonna dress up as somebody who was murdered less than a few months ago.
Yeah.
Just
Cool.
You already share her face.
Yes.
It's like somebody showing up as like Steve Irwin, like with the stingray in their chest. It's that one episode of South Park where they're in It's the Hell Halloween party.
Right, okay, so if we're just gonna be skipping days until the party kind of thing, can I have 2 more D100 rolls for the trader?
Super scary skeletons.
We're looking for above 50s on these.
75 and 83.
Okay.
It's a good thing you had
So-
Zep roll it.
See, he does most of the ship rolls, which is why your ship is alive.
Except for that one time. Except for the one time where we almost all died immediately after launching.
So was it
The maiden voyage has a couple of kinks.
52?
Including the floating part.
That's a lot. Holy shit. Okay. So
Jackpot.
on probably about the 3rd day, Zep, you were informed of that the merchant wants to speak to you.
Of course.
I have managed to parcel off the luxury furniture. Like I said, it'll take longer to sell, but since we've actually taken time to be here for a while, and I've been actually managed to sell it off, we have turned good profit, and as currently our crew costs are being covered by the King of Earthray, those have already been deducted, and the bill has been sent off via the embassy here. That was going to go back on the next skyship, and an advancement has been paid out via the bank here. We are looking to make 23,000 gold pieces.
23,000, not 2,300.
1,000.
And this is why trade is good.
This is why we needed to stay someplace free.
All right, guys. Good day. We're going to Applebee's today. We're getting good.
Man's been metagaming
Now,
mercantilism, let's be honest.
Now, of course, I need to take a portion of this to reinvest into future products for more trade. I just need to know how much you want me to reinvest. I can come to you with a couple of stock options here. Of what to pick up. Of what to pick up in this area, but I need a rough amount to. It would give me a good guidance here, Captain.
I will say that the party is here as well. This is simply one of our meetings. This is not secret. What do you think we should do?
I was gonna say, well, there's a really easy number to divide that by 7 and still have 2,000 gold left over for investment. But then I realized, nope, you insist Braun gets a share, so that is not easily done. So we have to cut that number down. I mean, that's 2,000 gold a person, and then that's still 7,000 gold left over for the ship and maintenance and reinvestment.
I would like to use 4,000 gold of this to purchase 2 cannons while we are here.
Yeah, no, you don't even have to get ballistae anymore. You can just...
I will take both. Gives us a little bit of versatility.
Yeah, layered defense.
You can take my share, my 2,000 for the cannons.
Well, I'm saying that we take the 4,000 from the pot, and then we...
So 3,000 for reinvestment, 4,000 for ship upgrades, 2,000 each.
Is this going to be enough for reinvestment, or do you need more?
That's the right math, right?
Yes.
Yep.
We'll say that's the right math. I mean, I can technically work with if you give me 10 gold, but, you know, your profit return is going to be faster and higher the more money I have, you know. As is the art of trade. The better deals I can get. Like, this is going to be limited in what I can... Like, instead of buying more luxury items, I will have to buy bulk trade good with this kind of amount, but I still should get pretty good trade good here. Like, there's, like, one of the things is this local region is very good for exotic woods and lumber, for example. I could pick some of that up, or...
Suggestion. Trade between Atria and Benumdum is not very good right now, correct?
No, it's actually pretty okay.
I thought they weren't. I thought they had hostile relations with each other.
It is governmentally yes, but there is no there's no trade. Like the individual, the right of the merchant is a big thing for the Atria, and then Benumdum is you know, it has one major city. It takes anything it can get.
Well, then Zep, if I could recommend, let's reinvest most of it here, take our next trip, and when we get to Atria, that is where we could buy the upgrades we need, because we're probably going to be there for a little while.
That's why I was going to ask if all of this trading was done on the up and up.
You want to know if I made all this money fairly?
What, you know some friends underground, James?
I'm good without knowing, you know.
It would be done by guild standards. She is a guild merchant after all.
It would be done by guild standards. I'm a guild merchant after all.
Echo. Would be my recommendation, Zip.
I do not disagree. Would you happen to know where metal is more abundant? Should we buy the guns here or in Atria? Actually, no, the gnomes are more technologically advanced. We should do it here.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Whilst the material would be more experienced here, you would run a casting forge would not be something you would find very easily in Atria. They are classically trained.
How about we go with 1,000 per person, and then reinvest the extra 7 on top of what we were already saying? Does that work?
Right. It'd be 8,000 because Braun gets a share.
Right. Yes.
No.
Right.
Yes.
No. Braun gets nothing.
Braun has always been getting a share.
No. Denied.
I mean, if Soul says no, then that's something the party needs to discuss, but...
It basically means Zep's getting double shares.
Braun's been buying armor and stuff for his share. It is for his character. That's why he can afford that upgrade.
I voiced my frustration with this as a player at the beginning of the campaign, but the character had no issue with it.
Okay. No, Soul has no issue.
To be discussed after. So how much was it again? 20...
It was 2,300, 1,600. If everybody's getting 2,000, that leaves 7,000 left over. 7,000 to be reinvested.
So if we up that plus 8,000, that would then be 15 reinvest.
Yes, it would be 15,000, and then we would have 1,000 each.
Does that work for everyone?
So we each get 1,000?
Each get 1,000 instead of 2? Okay. Yeah, no, that works for me.
I mean, I don't plan on I don't think anyone really plans on spending anything before we get to Atreus. Why don't we all get none and then get more later?
No. Numbers go up.
Yeah, numbers go up better if we just wait.
As long as the rolls go okay.
Darius, how much money do I owe you?
Jesus.
700?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna give you that right now. So now I owe you nothing, and I have 300.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let's take the 1,000 each, and then reinvest the rest.
No worries.
Because I put down money for the paint.
So did fucking I! I'm the one that paid for the bloody thing! Where's my bloody money back?
Darius also bought me dragon slaying arrows.
I mean,
that was what it's
but it was for the fucking paint. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
that's what it was.
Either way,
Arrows.
so they're going to take another day, do some shopping, buy some trade goods, that kind of thing. So are you guys...
Do I get another paint roll?
You can do another paint roll, yeah. If not, we will end a little earlier here and come back with the party. I think that makes sense.
Sounds good.
Unless
Sure.
there's...
I had a question about something, but it isn't necessarily. I just wanted to know, what's the mail situation from here to the other continent that we're from? Like,
I mean, probably about even between males and females. Yeah.
Postal.
51%.
There is various postal services. Like Valmir used one and is awaiting a letter back, which they will also possibly get very soon. Oh, by the way, you know it's been opened, Valmir.
Ooh. Very nice. Do I know it was opened by Mumsy as well?
Yes, because you set it to only be opened by that individual.
Oh, okay. Right. I don't know if it was impossible to be open, or like, yeah.
I mean, no, it's not impossible, but as far as you know, your mother has opened it. You've been left on red.
If there is a decent postal service, then Darius will spend a day and will go to a bank and get a sum of money transferred into a letter of payment or whatever for a mailing service, and we'll get that in a letter and then send that off. So about I've got notes here.
Okay. So you're wanting to send money home?
Well, I'm sending the duly required 2% amount that goes to the family everywhere. Technically, that's actually 5.5 because it's a half of that for Claudia since she's not full-fledged. So that comes out to about 2,500 gold pieces, equivalent to what I've been paid out before. I haven't been keeping track.
Yeah.
So I needed that money so that I could pay.
Bitching at me about owing you money. You send money home to the Reynards.
Yeah, it's a scheme on the scheme. Okay then.
It's either that or we're right now they just want us because I stole my sister, but if we don't pay them they'll want us more because I haven't paid them, which is worse.
Value of sister, value of money.
If I pay them, then they're not going to send people over to this continent. Hopefully.
Sure. Okay. Well, then without further ado, all we have left to do tonight is to say thank you for those who have been playing. I would love to thank the wonderful DM Opal, DM Lake, Kinda Odder, Lord Lambert, Commissar Roach, Mordred Viking, and Jibbity Jam. I've been Midgeman. This has been the Elendor Chronicles. Join us next week for yet another episode. And join us tomorrow for more Zweihander the Great Schism. We have been the Component Cast, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.